like that. I was one out of 4 that served on Governor DeSantis' roundtable for the COVID-19 vaccine injured, along with Surgeon General of Florida. In 2022, December 2022, and then others followed through 2023. 2024 was the federal grand jury, which testimonies from injured doctors, data, and much more was obstructed. Being someone that has been vaccine injured in the state of Florida, and Florida, Governor DeSantis and Surgeon General Ladapo, first to speak out in regards to COVID-19, vaccine injured, and deaths, that we had high hopes that they were going to help us. And in 2024, they abandoned us. Any of us that served on the round table, we were picked to speak on there. They sought us out through another organization that we thought for sure that we were going to get some kind of help, recognition, acknowledgement, compensation, and justice, since Florida was the first to speak out. We have been sadly disappointed. In regards to this, the state of Florida has done nothing to help the COVID-19 vaccine injured. They have abandoned us. They will not communicate with us. I have spoken directly to Surgeon General Ladapo in Ocala in 2023 and 2024 in Naples, Florida during his book signing. I did have a follow-up Zoom call with him. Ladapo did say that I can communicate with him through James Williams, his assistant. He has blocked communication. So there is no communication. He's made it clear publicly that we can speak to him, but it's either Jay or the Surgeon General Ladapo or even DeSantis has put a stop to it. We are suffering. We're getting worse. A lot of us have used all of our savings. We have lost our homes, our apartments, our cars, our 401k, just to stay alive. There's some of us that are living in cars. There's some of us, sleeping on couches or what have you. We have lost our identity, who we were, our jobs, because we took this not so safe and effective vaccine that Daddy Warp Speed Trump rushed out in 9 months. I know Ladapo was saying that we can't.
Yep. Chellee's supposed to be joining me. She's having some trouble logging onto her computer. She moved and is reset up her computer and hadn't logged onto it yet. So I'm going to play a few of her videos until she gets here, though. But she is supposed to come as a guest here. I'll play another one.
Let's just get to the nitty-gritty. Okay. You're injured and everybody abandons you, whether your friends, your family. You're gaslit by doctors. Your government just doesn't care about you. You're fighting this battle. After 4.5 years, you've tried numerous of supplements. You have tried detoxing. You have tried all kinds of things.
Can everyone hear it okay?
And still, after 4.5 years, the government is still, talking. We've had almost 5 years. Talking's over. We need to find solutions. The people who are speaking out for future generations need help. They're suffering. They're dying, more diagnosis, their medical bills, are losing their house, their homes, their savings, their cars. There's a lot of things. And then a lot of people that had their backs that said that they would help them, they're getting tired, or the battle has just been too long, or they feel defeated, or they say they're going to help and they don't. And then it just leaves us with our dreams, our heart shattered. And how much more are we going to take? continuously people say, well, did you try this? Did you try that? Did you try this? Did you try that?
Sure.
Most of us have
Why?
tried everything. And if you're severely vax injured and you're still producing spike, if you've had the spike tests, if you know that you're still making it, you know that you are getting more diagnosis. And nobody's any closer to get help for you. There's some doctors working underground where you have to go out of the state, out of the country for treatment or labs or what have you. The lack of knowledge that our government and even our own doctors have is ridiculous. And why? It's because they're not speaking to the injured. They're not looking at our labs. They're not asking us what makes you feel better, what's working, what's not working. Everybody keeps telling us this is going to work. Try this, it's going to work. Okay, Ebu, does it take the spike out if you're having spike? How many people has it actually helped and how much is it? PRP, HBOT. Not everybody can take HBOT. Can you know, NAC with Augmentin? Come on, there's a lot of us who are severely injured that ended up getting worse and we couldn't take it. Nobody's listening to us. Everybody goes, oh, it's going to work. It's going to take the spike out. Where's the data? Where's the data for it? Please show me where the data is because I can show you mine. After 1,678 days still producing spike. Please tell me where this information is and where you got it from, because you didn't get it from me. You didn't get it from a lot of others that are getting tested. Where is this information coming from? Have you tried, the natokinase, bromelain, and natocucumin or whatever? Yes, we've tried it. It didn't take a Yale study to let people know that we're still making spike because we were yelling it and nobody wanted to listen to us. Here's the big thing. These high profile platforms, Tucker Carlson, Cam Hughes, Alex Jones, Infowar, Highwire, Callie Means, Twins, the list goes on. Vigilant Fox, Chief Nerd. There's another one begins with a V. Anyway, and there's other ones, that have once in a while retweeted our stuff or had made a comment. But has any of our elite doctors retweeted any of our stuff to let our stories go? Have they communicated with us to see what works? Because I have a bunch of doctors, elite doctors, and other people in my back chat channels. Not one of them ever asked to see my records. Not any of them. Well, except for one. I got to take that back. And the other doctors that I do have and work with that I show. All the rest of them that are on the high profile platforms. Why doesn't anyone speak to the injured so we can tell you what works, what doesn't work, what really is going on, who's testing us, what's working, what attempts we've made, and how do we have our data to prove this? We have this. Just talk to us. The problem is nobody is talking to us. Why are you still putting people on your platforms like even Epoch News and I can name a bunch of them. There's a lot of them that are supposed to be on our corner telling our stories, and they're not. Why haven't you put us on your platform so we can tell you what we've used and what we haven't used? Is it because you don't want us to tell us the truth? Is it just because, is it like our government that they're sweeping us under the rug? Do you not want people to know that there's people that aren't studying us just like our own government? But there are people who are, and there are people that are taking responsibility of themselves that are injured, vaccine injured, that are actually going and getting data to help other injured. Why can't we be put on platforms to be able to tell our story, the real story, what we're really going through? Do you know that some of our communities are even falling apart? Instead of lifting each other up, they want to cut each other down. Whether it be, oh, you're hurricanes are destructive. Guess what? Some people just go out and speak the truth because they're trying to help the other injured. And whether a senator gives you a nickname or your other vaccine injured,
hey, Marianne,
it's because you earned that right.
Tammy,
you speak at legislation delegation meetings,
Pat,
you get in front of the senators
Heather,
and the congressmen, and you do what you need to do, or you think that you're doing something positive for the injured community. Instead, you find out that most of
I can't bring these up on the screen.
They're bought out, sitting on their hands, just like Latipo said, and wait around for a Yale study instead of looking at our records. We have elite doctors that have to speak to the injured just to find out about the antibody spike tests and learn from it, or whether you take chlorine dioxide or something like that. Does it work? Does it not work? There's a group that have been taking it for a long time. It can be preventative, but it's not going to cure them. And they've been on this, and they had the labs for over a year. What is it? There's a lot of things. This is going to cure you. How do you know it's going to cure if you aren't looking at our labs and working with us continuously? See, there's a lot. And why isn't our high-profile platforms spreading our information around? Why aren't you speaking to us? We'll tell you the truth. The thing is, do you not want people to tell the truth? Why aren't our freedom movements still helping us? Why are they being silent? Where are the ones that said they were going to help you? Oh, we'll give you names and numbers and phone numbers, and we'll get you in contact. We still haven't
Chase
heard
is
from
here?
it. Where is it? Where's
Cool.
the solutions?
Hey, John.
Who's working on the solutions? The vaccine injured are working on the solutions. There's some doctors who are. There's a lot of people that are praising themselves. Look, we did this, we did this. What are we doing together now? There is no communication with the injured and the doctors. We should be the ones speaking, especially here in Florida with Latipo and Bhattacharya and a bunch of the other ones. We should be able to communicate, especially the ones that have been on the roundtables here in the state of Florida, and that we've been ignored. Why hasn't anyone talked to us? Why won't you talk to us? It's sad. It's time to hear the facts, the truth, and you need to hear it from us. We know what works and what doesn't work. We are still looking for solutions, treatment. Our banks are running dry. We're losing our homes, our houses just to stay alive. And that's just the truth. And when we all fall apart, not all of us stay together so we can lift each other up and help each other. Anyway, hope this helps. And you want the truth, talk to an injured. We'll tell you the truth. Have a safe and effective day.
Greg, let me grab another one. She's having trouble coming on. Let me play something else.
The FDA, Dr. Prasad, came out and said the following things. This is a bombshell that our federal government is fessing up. One, they said that these shots killed more children than they saved. Killed more children than they saved. The risk of death from one shot of the COVID shot was 3 in 1,000, and people had more than one, right? If you got the initial, you got 2 shots. That's a risk of 6 out of 1,000. That's unbelievable. That's at least 1,000 times higher than the risk of death to that child from COVID, 1,000 times higher. So first of all, the fact that our FDA said that, amazing. He also called these shots gene therapy. You know, the concept of shedding that everybody was wondering about. And I said, yep, sure, certainly seems real to me. Yes, he called them gene therapy. The third thing is he says, we're not giving these shots or other vaccines to pregnant women unless we have true data that it really reduces the risk of disease, not just like a numbers, not just when you check antibody titers, but is it actually reducing the incidence of disease? And this is a little story that's gotten buried, but in that same memo, he said that he's going to revise the annual flu shot schedule. This is a really big deal. He actually called the past guidance really flawed. He said uncertain vaccine effectiveness measured in case control studies with poor methods. He's saying they had bad science, junk science that was allowing the flu shot schedule to go on at a $5 billion annual per year in the United States. So they're going to be looking at flu shots too. This is a bombshell story.
Let me grab another one. She's still trying to get on. Hold on, let me grab another one here.
You couldn't get a stronger study than this. Every single resident in South Korea was in this study, every single one. And so what did they do in this study? Well, they, again, compared who got the vaccine, they compared it to who didn't, and they stratified by dose number. But the shocking thing about this study is, before we dig into it, is this is the strongest signal that we have to date that vaccine-acquired immunodeficiency syndrome is real. or what's called VAIDS. So what happened in this study was as each dose was incurred among these South Koreans, so they get 1 dose, 2 dose, 3 dose, 4+ doses. Each time they got another dose, their immune function dropped off, and they suffered. When you reached the 4th dose, you started to suffer about 550% increased risks of other infections, common cold, tuberculosis, and upper respiratory tract infections. It was an absolute travesty. And you know who was affected the most was young children, ages 0 to 19. They had the highest risks of these other infections. So what's happening is these injections are causing immune collapse. They're exhausting the T cells. They're causing immune dysregulation, what's called IgG4 class switching. The immune system literally becomes dysfunctional. And as our other studies indicated, genes related to immune function literally become shut down. And so this is very disturbing. And again, you can't get a stronger sample size than an entire country.
Yeah, they wanted to kill us all. Hey, John. Jace, hey, welcome. Glad you got the live stream working over here on Wimpkin. So let me play another one. I'm just having, my guest is having a hard time. They want her to download Rumble. She couldn't get on with the computer, so she's trying to get on with her phone. So I'll play another one. Hold on.
Everyone thinks that Florida is such a great place to live. Well, it usually was until the COVID-19 vaccine came around, where a lot of us are chronically ill, suffering, or have died from the COVID-19 vaccine. Bioweapon, mRNA shot, toxic exposure, whatever you want to call it. A lot of us are suffering. And in 2022, Governor DeSantis and Surgeon General Joseph Ladapo decided to speak out first, to be first to let people know that these were causing harms. And
I can't see you yet, but I can hear you. Let me pause. Can you hear me? Oh, there you are. Better late than never, right? Whatever works.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Everyone's chatting over on Winkin mostly. We finally got that back up and working. It was down for a while. They were redoing the software on it. Let me see what they're commenting over there. Jason's got it working again. Hey, Tammy. Hey, Carol. Hey, Heather. Hey, who else is here? John. Well, a whole bunch of people. They're mostly saying hi. They haven't been on that one for a little while. Maybe I can drag this over here and and you can see it too. They're all commenting over here. So in any case, I know I can't get it up on the screen, but there's a lot of people watching anyways. In any case, hey, how have you been? A lot going on in your life.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. If the light is bad, I can turn it off here.
Nah, it's okay. I tend to have it shine at the wall and then reflect back at me, so it's not directly at me. That's what I tend to do. So
I'm trying to turn it around for you so you can see me.
You're good. That's good. Here, I'll just put us on the screen for now, and I'll monitor the chat over here. Most of it's over there than on Rumble. But for a while, when Wimpkin was down, it was coming up here. I don't know if you can see it over in that right column there. There's a bunch of chat there a little bit. So in any case, that's mostly Rumble, a little bit of YouTube. And I'm also on Twitch, but I don't get that many comments there. But it seems like I get the views. It's sort of like Cloud Hub. I get a lot of views, but no one comments. I don't get it. In any case, so you've been at this a long time. If you want to get a synopsis of where you're at or where you've been, or you were against the jab from the beginning, right?
I wasn't somebody that was. I didn't want to get the COVID-19 vaccine. I always believed in vaccines prior. I always had my vaccines. My children's had their vaccines. But this one I was a little apprehensive about.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew that my sons that were in the military, they were mandated to get it. And to see them, I had to be vaccinated as well. And having one of my sons coming back in from being deployed, that was one of the things to get vaccinated. So besides mandates and trying to push that off, having my son come in, I didn't want to not participate when the celebration came in. And I went ahead and took it thinking I was doing what was right because the government said it was a safe and
Others.
effective vaccine.
Yeah.
And, after I took it, I realized how not safe and effective that is and that we were all lied to. 40 minutes after I took my second vaccine, I had the flu-like symptoms. It felt like I was on fire inside. I automatically, it felt like weights on my legs. It was excruciating pain. I had fatigue, weakness, and brain fog right off the back. I couldn't even drive home. I had to get someone to help me. And I went home thinking that I was going to sleep it off. But then I slept until the next morning and I was unable to get up out of bed. I had left-sided paralysis. I had to take my left leg and my right foot and scoop it underneath my left leg. And I grabbed on to my dresser that was next to my bed and I pushed myself off the bed, fell to the floor. And then I crawled to the bathroom and I pulled myself up by my hands. And I remember looking at myself in the mirror going, oh my God, that was the first time I've ever been scared in my life. I wasn't scared having childbirth. I wasn't scared anything, I was an athlete,
Yeah.
I was doing Spartan races. I was doing CrossFit. I was doing mixed martial arts. I was running 3 to 6 miles. I was at the prime of my life, being Wonder Woman, you know what I mean? And the next thing I know, I'm scared. And from then it just got worse. I had to have a device to help me walk around the house. I couldn't open up anything. It just led me into seeing my doctor, getting a lot of blood tests, then seeing a neurologist and realizing I didn't pass my assessment. He says, I think that you've been hurt by the vaccine. And I'm like, well, nobody else seems to think it because I was fine. I ran 6 miles that morning before I got my second shot.
Oh.
And I said, I thought this was just going to go away. And it just ended up being the biggest nightmare of my life. The biggest nightmare. I had, I suffer from, I had to get a lumbar puncture, MRI. I've had biopsies done.
What's a lumbar puncture? I don't know what that is.
Where you go in and they draw the serum from your spinal fluid.
Oh man, that's dangerous.
Yeah, and that didn't go well because I ended up having a spinal leak while I was in the hospital. Couldn't get up out of bed. Then I got worse, running a fever. I can't walk. Couldn't walk to the bathroom. Couldn't do anything. I was losing, my bladder and bowels. I couldn't move. It started from my waist down, then it started going up through my arms to my face. I wasn't able to talk, swallow. I couldn't pronounce words. So it ended up I ended up not being able to even swallow, even when I drank from a glass of water.
Other people I've talked to had a lot of the same symptoms that you're talking about, especially talking.
And constantly you felt like you were on fire all the time. And, at the time I didn't realize it was small nerve neuropathy because I have CIDP, that's chronic inflammation demyelation polyneuropathy. I have POTS. I have, May Turner syndrome. where my blood doesn't circulate properly. They want to put a stent in my left iliac vein, so I have proper blood flow. But
My
I
brother
decided
has that, and he had the Johnson, something similar. He had to get stents.
not to do it because I have microclotting, I have MCAS, MTHFR. It also later on, since you weren't supposed to get COVID after you got your shot, I went to go see a doctor in Alabama to get my Dr. Vaughn to get my microclotting tests done and things like that. And I caught COVID. So I got worse. So people don't realize that when you already have an adverse reaction, and if you catch COVID, you end up getting, it's almost like getting 10 times worse.
Don't you think you're more likely to catch the COVID after you've had the jab? Because everyone I've known that had the jab got COVID. Everyone that didn't get the jab did get COVID.
Well, I ended up having, I have multiple autoimmune issues. What is it? I also got Lyme disease, Epstein-Barr on top of it. There's a list of other things that are wrong with me, but I have to be on IVIG, that's intravenous immunoglobulins, where I was going into the infusion center 6 hours a month. And it wasn't until about a year and a half ago I went on sub-Q where I can do it at home, but I have to do it every week for 3 hours. And that alone.
Is there problems with infection doing that?
No, as long as you do it properly. I mean, I know some people end up with migraines. I know that people can get meningitis and things like that. I never had that problem. I know people worry about having blood clots on top of it because you have to watch for that. That's why you're at an infusion center and they monitor you. But after being on it for 3 years and I was good with it, I decided to do it from home instead of going to the hospital all the time and being infused at the infusion center.
A port there for you to do it?
No, I can do it sub-Q. I can either do it on my stomach, I can do it on my legs. There's different parts of your body where you can do it.
Oh, okay.
It comes in a little thing like this, and then you put in here is your medication and the syringe. So you put that together and you load it up in here. And then you have they give you all these little things to come with it. They're your big box, your monthly.
I bet you this is all costing you a pretty penny too, right?
Oh my God. It's expensive. I mean, thank God my insurance, when I lost my insurance, I got a grant through Hyzentra. So it was paid for free for a year. And that's $15,000 a month. That's $15,000 a month. And then
not that we're going to get into the nursing part. You used to be a nurse. Isn't part of the nursing place where you used to be a nurse pay for?
I don't go into any of that. So
no, I just meant, are they paying for any of
it? No, nobody's paying for anything. I mean, you have to fight for everything because when I was out on disability, I ended up getting terminated. So then this is when I went to Hyzentra and I went and got put on this medication.
How much does it help?
I can't do my everyday living without it.
Oh, it's vital then. Absolutely.
Without it, I'm bedbound. I cannot walk. I cannot get in my car and drive because while all of this was going on, I had one of my sons come home and take care of me for 8 months. And he had to drive me to the infusion center where I was doing it at an oncology office, infusion center. So they were, he was driving me to do that because I couldn't get in and out of my car. Once I got in, I couldn't get out because my left side, I had still paralysis on it. From time to time, I trip over my left foot or I have to use a cane. But my boys tell me if I accept it, I'll always use it. So I try to do my best to try to do it on my own. Now, there are days where I do use my cane, and I have my disabled sticker in my car. I try to do the best I can with what I got, and I'm going to try to be as normal as I can, or what I can be, for what I have. It's tiring mentally and physically every day. I'm worn out by 4:30,
I
5 o'clock
know.
at night.
Sometimes when I talk to you, it sounds like you're really weak. It makes you feel weak, right?
It does. And it's, you get gaslit, by doctors and by your own family and friends. They don't understand what you're going through. They tell you if you had cancer, they could understand what you're going through. But, I still have family members that don't understand what's going on with me, or they don't know how to talk to me anymore. They say that I'm angry. I'm not angry at anyone. People don't realize.
Can't they realize that you are harmed? They believe that you're harmed, right?
They know that I'm harmed. They just don't understand it. How can you be hurt by a vaccine? How can you be this hurt? How can you be Wonder Woman and now you're disabled?
And
They
just like
just
that, I know.
It was just like that within 40 minutes after my second vaccine.
I had two friends that died. One died within a day, and the other one died in 7 minutes after she got it. She didn't even make it to her car from getting the shot.
This has been the hardest thing because, I have family members that'll look at me, and friends, and think that I look fine on the outside, but inside I'm tired, I'm hurt. We are physically and mentally damaged
Do
from
you have
this.
the same issue with keeping food down and stuff like that?
I've had to I always did a paleo diet before, and that's what I stick with. I do a paleo diet. I eat organic. I have structured water. I have my, what do you call it? Like a Berkeley. I filter my water, then I put it in a distiller. I learned a lot of good things from Dr. Henry Ely.
It's a good thing you did all that in the athlete stuff, or otherwise it probably would have killed you.
That's what they are telling us. Most of us that aren't, or that are still living, most of us were athletes.
Mhm.
So there's just, I learning with Dr. Ely, I learned to use a grounding mat, infrared sauna, red light, ice bath. He's given you a better quality of life where I'm able to sustain things like sitting out in the sun. That's probably been the best thing for me. That has gotten me through, just like putting a chair outside and just sitting outside.
The vitamin
And
D?
vitamin D is very essential. I mean, without it, I don't know where I would be. If I lived up north, I really don't know what I would be doing.
Be tough. A lot less sun here.
It's something. I mean, it's just you have to learn to eat right. No wheat, no snacks, no cheating. You have to watch.
Wheat affects it?
I don't eat. I don't eat. I never did before, and I'm not doing it now. Everything is organic. I don't eat out. I don't like to eat out at restaurants. I have to pre-plan my meals. You have to watch everything that you put inside of your body. Turn off the blue lights on your computer, your phone. Turn off your Wi-Fi at night. All of
These
that.
are blue blocker glasses. It helps my eyes. I was getting dry eye before on the computer with the blue light. So
it's just, and people don't realize, like, even my left eye, sometimes it droops, sometimes it just shuts on its own. I don't have my full vision.
A brother and sister, they both got the jab, and they both have the palsy stuff now with the drooping face and all that from
the Bell's. Yeah, the Bell's palsy. They thought that I had that, but this eye, I'll start talking if you look at any of my pictures before and now, this eye, half the time it's closed. So I have to make a point sometimes to.
I know sometimes when you talk to me, you don't want yourself seen a little bit because of it, right? You're a little embarrassed by it. You shouldn't be.
Sometimes I'm taking my hair and I put it in front of my eyes so people don't notice it as much. But it's.
I can't hide my fat. Stand behind someone.
I mean, there's only so much that you can hide, but age, that happens. You have to make, your vitamins, your supplements that you take. There's supplements that work for us and there's some that don't.
All right. So people are going to ask, what supplements help with this? Because it's a spike protein issue. Is there any supplements that help with that? Because there's this wellness company. I see that you're friends also with Shannon Joy, which is close friends of mine. Well, good friends with me. She lives only about 40 minutes from me. We've been on each other's podcast type stuff before. She read your letter on her show. What do you think of the wellness company? I know that they're trying to make money.
I'm not going to talk ill about any of them. I'm blocked by them.
Oh, really? You must have talked ill at one time then or something.
It's not that. It's hard because when the U.S. only tests you for your spike antibodies or nucleocapsid if you've ever had COVID before. So when I started getting my antibody test, I realized that it was so high, it was unreadable. And, I was very concerned about it. And then everybody was like, well, we're making spike. Well, then I had more testing done outside of the US, which actually showed that I do have it and more in my exosomes and et cetera. And I just happen to be somebody that still has spike in their body after 1,860 days. I had extensive testing outside of the US because they don't have it in the US. And no matter what supplement that you're going to take, and I know at the very beginning when we all were going to events, when we were speaking out, we really thought that we were going to get this out of our body because that's what we originally believed.
We believed it would eventually dissipate, and it doesn't.
We thought that it would just eventually, I don't know.
I really don't. Heal itself, yeah.
I really don't know what I thought was going to happen. I knew in the beginning that people were reaching out saying that if you take this supplement, it's going to work. If you take this supplement, it's going to work. You're not going to have any more spike or what have you. And I think when I spoke out about it, it wasn't to be rude or disrespectful. I wanted to know, is there anything else that's going to work, that's going to help?
I think part of that might be because they use different batches on different people. So you had stronger batches than other batches. So it might have helped somewhat.
Well, there's people that are vaccine injured or what have you, that they're one of the luckier ones that don't still have spike in their body. There's a lot of us that do. And the problem is it's pushing us into cancer. It's pushing us to get worse. It doesn't matter what we do. We've been offered HBOT, EBU. I think they call it Tulsi PRP. There's a lot of different things out there that they say that it's going to pull the spike out and it's going to cure you. Like someone the other day says it's going to take it out 100%.
No, I don't know about a cure. I haven't seen that.
The thing is, there was a lot of people that said that supplements and everything were going to work. Now, a lot of them didn't use the word cure because you don't use that word cure. But we really believed that we were going to get better. We knew that it wasn't going to take away what our diagnoses are, like the CIDP or the POTS or what have you. We just thought that we were going to have a better quality of life. Mm-hmm. And then it got to the point now, I had my 5-year anniversary, January 11th. So at 5 years, and you're still fighting this and you're getting worse no matter what you do. I think that a lot of us thought we would stop somehow and be able just to keep going, or a lot of us believe we're going to go back to our old life, which that's not going to happen. But we have to realize that we have to make the best of what we got and not concentrate. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die.
I want to live as long as possible. I've already been dead twice. So now, someone asked if you've spoken in England. They seen you in England speak. They thought
I have been to England. Yes,
oh,
I didn't.
In England.
I didn't speak in England. I did go to an event.
Rallies? Oh, okay.
I did go to a rally, Bring the Noise. They're in Glasgow.
Oh, okay.
I did go there. There's a group of
Scotland, then, right?
Yeah, they're a group of really great people over there.
Oh, and that's her. So you got a fan. Several, actually.
Hurricane Shell, they call me.
Yeah, yeah, I believe it. Some are asking how much fed or state government help can you get?
Sorry for laughing.
They cause the problem.
The thing is, when you take this shot, you are told that you're going to get help through the injury compensation program, which they deny 98% of the claim. And I was just one out of thousands that were denied. Then we're not acknowledged on the VICP. And a lot of people say, well, the government's paying for your medications. No, they're not. You are abandoned. You are abandoned because the PrEP
Act. Bill to Pfizer. Pfizer, Moderna, all of them, Johnson.
Yeah, the PrEP Act leaves you immune to sue pharmaceutical companies. So it leaves you helpless. There's nothing that you can do. And the government's not paying our medical bills. I mean, we're in debt. We've lost our homes, our cars, our health, our 401ks, our Quadro accounts, whatever money that we have used it for finding treatments, because even if you have insurance, it doesn't cover HBOT, EBU, because like EBU's like $1,500 to $2,000. HBOT, I can do 30 minutes here. I'm not allowed to because of my microclotting and vascular issues. Mm-hmm. But that's like $500 for 30 minutes or something like that. The IV treatments, I'm on a cancer protocol. So that's an extra $3,000 a month for high doses of vitamin C, glutathione, and NAD. So if you look at it, and with my medications and compound pharmacies, it costs about $20,000 a month to keep me alive. And that's a lot of money. That's a lot of, but the insurance only covers.
That's not to get better. That's just to keep you as you are.
Yeah, that's it. It's not to get, the biggest thing that helped me was doing the infrared sauna, the red light, the ice baths. I don't have it where I am here now. When I did do it, it was very essential. I know people
that's not a cure either. That just helps you in the meantime, right?
It helps you function. And it got to the point where I was getting sundowners at 4:30 in the afternoon. So, and my blood tests were just getting worse and worse. So my best alternative that I did was go to Germany, and I had HELP apheresis done, and I had filtration. I only had enough money at the time for 5 treatments. And
explain what filtration is. I think that's a thing in Germany where they were taking your blood and filtering it.
Yeah. Okay. And they use was it heparin? It actually yeah.
My wife was on that.
I think the machine was actually for cholesterol at one time. So it takes out the cholesterol, it takes out the spike, it takes out the microclotting, the amyloids, the misfolded proteins that they're talking about. It takes out multiple things. And when you did it, it was the first time that I could actually feel the circulation in my legs. It was the first time that when my blood came out, it was dark brown. They call it mud blood.
Sounds like it was dead, like the blood was dead.
It was
Microclotting, for those out there in chat there. Your veins have micro veins, and you got to get those cleaned out for your veins to work right.
It was, I mean, when you saw it, it was something. It's different when you see it on a video. It's different if you see it on someone else. But when it happens to you, it's another story. And it hits you even harder. And then you realize, my God, I'm worse than what I thought. And then they're like, oh, you're one of the bad ones, one of the worst ones that we've seen from the States. And you're like, great. You don't get an award for it or anything, but it was the first time that you realized what was going on. You could see it in the filters. And, but it helped me with my fatigue, weakness, and brain fog. I don't have the sundowners at 4:30, 5 o'clock at night anymore. I do get tired.
Someone's saying trying ivermectin. That might work with the COVID, but it doesn't work with the jab.
No, people don't realize I've been on ivermectin for years, since November of 2023, when I went to go see Dr. Vaughn. I've also been on fenbendazole.
I don't know that one.
So this is the new one that they're using.
Well, let them use remdesivir on you. That kills you.
Well, I'm not going to go in the hospital, so I'm not worried about that.
Kristen died for that. They gave her remdesivir, and it fills up your lungs with fluid.
Oh, people were going into kidney failure. So,
that's how you get the fluid.
But I was on it. When I had the treatment, they wanted me to stay longer because the last treatment I had, the filter was dirty within 20 minutes, and you're there for 3 to 4 hours getting your filter done per treatment.
And that's a temporary fix.
Yeah. It's not a cure, but it gives you a better quality of life.
It also keeps you from dying.
It kept me, it brought some of my, I need to get another spike test, not from here, from overseas. It did help me in many different ways, but lab ways, my B cells, T cells are still going down. It's still, they're still worried about me going into cancer. And regardless of me being on the fenbendazole and the ivermectin, I'm still in that because I still have spike in my body. And they don't have that test here in the US. You have to get it overseas. So
it's not that hard of a test to do. Why can't they test for it here?
They don't have the ability to do it here. And even the treatment that I had, the FDA won't allow the filter to come in the US. I know that there is a new...
it proves that there's spike in you. That's why, probably, right? Both those things.
You still have to have the test for it.
Yeah, I'm saying that the health insurance companies don't want that information out there. Like, they haven't really released for the 75 years. There's a lot of documentation that would prove that they knew that it was bad for people, and they won't let those papers out for 75 years.
I had my neurologist not want to see me anymore after I had my testing done over there. He threw his hands up and he says, there's nothing we can do about it. And this was at a university here in Florida. There's nothing we can do about it. It's too new. We don't know much about it. They know more than what they're telling us. And it is...
Well, they should try to find out. They should be talking to other specialists and stuff then,
Well, there's a lot of people that are talking to people around the world that are studying this, that are very diligent, because the UK is 5 years ahead of the US. Now here...
Ahead of you doing better on this issue?
By even studying it. I mean, they're getting a lot of their studies. They're getting a lot of their information from overseas because they're not testing here in the US. No one is studying us here in the US. There's a few groups that are now, they're just getting started. But other than that, no one's testing our blood. No one's doing any of that here in the US. That's why you see a lot of the injured up there, and then we get slack from it because we say no one's studying us. There's no fundraising, there's no nothing to be able to say, hey, if we're not going to be studying the blood here, we're going to take so many people and we're going to take that blood and we're going to send it overseas to, to get your blood tested so we know what we're working with. A lot of this information is already being done overseas, and that's where they're getting their information from. Nobody is studying us here in the US. Anyone who's speaking out, there is nobody that's studying us here. So that's why you see us on there begging for help. And then that's why we get in trouble if we say, hey, we've been on this supplement or we've been on this supplement. It's not working. It's because we're still sick. It's not working. There's some that's benefiting us and helping us with our daily lives, but it's not, you can't say, you take this.
This is going to cure it.
Yeah. It's just, everybody goes, well, have you been on nanokinase? Have you been on nanocucumin? Have you been on this? Yes, I've been on it from the very, very beginning. And I still have this. And because you say it, then you're talking out against a company or a person. And it's not that. It's just we're trying to speak out saying, hey, we need something more. And I know that there's more clinics opening up, which can benefit you by the EBU, the ones that can do HBOT, Tulsi, or whatever they call it, the PRP. There's different things that you can go get. And there's people saying it's going to take the spike 100%. Well, if they're not testing it here, how do they know it's taking it out?
Agree.
And if we're getting our if we can't get our tests here and we have to get overseas and they're not sending our stuff overseas, how do they know they're getting this out 100%? That's not true. So when you say something about it, people are saying, well, you're the problem. You're the one speaking out against the movement. It's not that. There has been no fundraising, no nothing. It's more people are talking about it than actually doing anything about it. But there is no state and federal money, because if you have long COVID, they have state and federal money to study long COVID. Like most of these hospitals around here or
people
clinics.
Are asking about lawsuits. Are you able to lawsuit and cause them to fix this because of the lawsuits?
Because of the PrEP Act, we're immune. We cannot sue anybody.
Yeah, that was put in some years ago there.
So if Kennedy would take the PrEP Act down, we would be able to sue pharmaceuticals. Now, there are some bills that are set into place. Like there's one in Florida that the Children's Health Defense Network and a few other freedom movements put in, but it only helps people that have been hurt the past 3 years. So anyone hurt past that time, people that are like 5 years like me, 4 years, it doesn't include us. Mm-hmm. So we're hoping that they will amend the bill and make sure that everyone's included. Now, there's other people that have been hurt because you have the autism, you have, other adverse reactions that have helped. I mean, people have been hurt for 40 some years or more. All of them deserve compensation as well, not just us.
Here, I'll copy and paste it over on this screen. Someone's asking about, besides the wellness company, have you ever heard of one called the Health Center? What's your thoughts on that one? I'll put it on the screen.
I haven't heard of the Health Center.
Okay. They said they're working on the spike proteins.
There's a lot
from Heather.
Heather.
Yeah. That's her name that made the comment.
There's a lot of people that will tell you different things, and it doesn't matter. I've had my tests from overseas. None of this is going to get it out, regardless. It can, like I said, it can facilitate and help, but it's not going to get it out of our cells. None of this is. I know they talk about, well, we use this product and it got it out, because it was in a petri dish or something like that. But our tests
Some
are,
of those things are temporary fixes because your body keeps producing it, correct?
our body still has it in our exosomes, our immune cells, and what have you. It's in our organs, our tissues. It's there.
Someone asked, is Ron Johnson, isn't he the one that was still working on it? He was for a while going against this stuff. Was it Ron Johnson I'm thinking of?
Yeah, he's still going against it, but it's a work in progress.
Oh, I was wondering how much progress he's getting on that. He's got to get more people on board. That's the problem.
Well, Rand Paul even has a bill put in place to take down, to take down the PrEP Act and to make pharmaceuticals responsible for our adverse reactions. The problem is there's nothing in that bill yet that says, are you going to grandfather everyone that was already sick prior, or is it from the day that it goes in?
Yeah.
And for future generations, does it include the people that are already injured, not just the vaccine injured, autism, anyone that's been hurt by any other vaccines in the past? So, and then I had someone say, well, the pharmaceutical companies are going to go bankrupt. Well, I could give a rat's behind about that. This is giving me a living nightmare, not just for me, for other people that are still sick. There's people that are bedbound. There's people that are, terminal.
Yeah.
And,
people strokes.
There's people that are begging for help and we can't get it.
People are getting cancer from it.
Yeah. And, at the beginning, they said we're walking time bombs that we have 3 to 5 years. Well, 5 years is here. And I just found out that I'm going to be a grandmother. So guess what? I'm going to stick around as long as I can, and I'm going to be a thorn in everyone's side until somebody gets help. I mean, because I speak out the city commissioner, the county commissioner's office, the legislation delegation meetings. It doesn't matter how many times you talk, it seems like you still get ignored and they hear you. The last time I spoke at the legislation delegation meeting, it was my 3rd year, and Senator Wright turns around and says, oh, we have you're a frequent flyer here. Well, I wouldn't be a frequent flyer if I got some freaking help. You know what I mean? It's just...
And do something about it. You're not just worrying about yourself. You're trying to help others as well with this, right?
Yeah, I'm not doing it for myself. I've never done it for myself.
Well, you should be doing it for yourself, but also helping others, both.
I mean, I had to get my senators involved because, to get disability, I was denied. And then I was denied on my appeal. Then it takes like 2 years to get it going. And then I had to get my senator, Corey Mills, involved. So he expedited my hearing. If it wasn't for him, I would have still waited another year. And then my Medicare, then he helped me expedite my Medicare. Without that, I wouldn't have insurance. I wouldn't have disability, and disability doesn't pay that much. Everybody thinks, oh, you're getting this much money. Well, that's not enough to live on. You pay all this money, and then once you get disabled, you're like, you're SOL.
What does it do you then, right?
Yeah, it's just like, I'm not 62 yet, and I'm, you know what I mean? It's just, you're pretty much...
I wouldn't have guessed that you were even close to that, especially seeing your athlete pictures and videos from before. And you look like you were 30. So.
Well, at one time I felt it, but I have, grown sons. My oldest one's going to be 29 soon. So I'm not a spring chicken, but, I'm old enough. And then when you lose everything, because you spend all your money going to all these extra things that you try to stay alive for.
Plus, you're hoping to get answers and produce answers by going to these because when you first start doing it, you were talking to others that were going through the same thing and trading notes, right? Did you
Right.
learn stuff from other people and vice versa?
I learn more from the people I speak to around the world than I do here, anyone in the US. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, no one's really talking about anything new products. The best thing I did was take Dr. Ely's class and learn about detoxing, the times and what works, what doesn't work. Um, there was a lot of good things I learned from his class, and I'm looking forward to starting his next class. With him, it was the first time that I was able to sleep. And actually, I didn't have a dream for like 5 years. And I finally had my first dream. I finally went through my REMs of sleep, and I finally had a decent night's sleep. For 2 years, I didn't sleep in the
Would you
beginning
believe
of.
I can't remember ever having a dream in my life?
Geez, I used to
Yeah.
dream, I used to dream all the time. Everybody wants to dream,
I
but
suppose I do, but I just never wake up from it and remember anything from it. I don't know.
no, it's just, there's people I talk to that did the water and tell me to turn off my cell phone at night and the Wi-Fi. And I used to think, oh, they were crazy, but they're they're the most interesting people I met. They are, and
Well,
actually,
they claim the signal that you got metal in you from the jab. There's micro things.
people can get testing for different things to see if they have it. There's people that do chelation and things like that. I tried it. It laid me on the ground for 2 weeks. Not everybody can do it, but there's
Someone's saying the family doesn't want to know the truth about the vaccines.
no, people don't want to know. No one wants to know. Nobody wants to know nobody wants to know that this could possibly happen to them, or that possibly they knew somebody that died from it. Nobody wants to admit that. I mean, the government won't, Daddy Warp Speed himself, Trump, won't even address it. If he would address it, then maybe we could get somewhere. If Kennedy,
I think it hurts his ego to say that he was wrong.
well,
I'm a Trump supporter. I'm a total Trump supporter, but on this issue, you know,
well, he's at Mar-a-Lago, having Pfizer and Moderna and, Gates, whatever. He's having all these people at his house.
Bill Gates.
You know?
Oh my God, that guy needs really being hung. Him and Fauci. Oh my God. Sorry.
Well, it's actually like you're being slapped in the face by having these people take their money or still talk to them, or it's just.
Well, I know he's talking to him. I don't know if he's taking money. He's not running for a campaign again. But anyways.
Well, they gave him money. I remember they gave him more money.
More money. Okay.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of things that could be done. Like when this new administration took over, I thought that Maha and MAGA were, going to do great things. Okay,
It's part of the problem. The health insurance. Someone's asking if it's part of the problem. The health insurance companies that don't want this going out because they'd have to cover all this.
They don't even want to pay for our medication. I think I told you, what is it? I went and I needed to get my medication for my IVIG.
I'm reading the other things.
So they turned around and told me that I wasn't approved for it because I was vaccine injured and there wasn't a diagnostic code for it. I wasn't turned in.
So if they prove there is an issue, then they'd have to pay for it, right?
The thing is, if I have CIDP, that's what I was getting my medication for. I could get it also for my other autoimmune issues. The problem is there wasn't anything on there. Who told them that I was vaccine injured in the first place? And I told them it was discrimination that I would
they're
get
finally admitting that you can be injured by the vaccine, right?
But it was CVS, Specialty Pharmacy Department. Why are you telling me that I can't get my medicine because I'm vaccine injured? That's one, it's none of your business. Two, my doctor put in a prescription for my CIDP, and that was the reason for my medication. And I was approved. All of a sudden, it disappeared. They couldn't find it, and it ended up then we had to go in and do an appeal and all this other kind of stuff. And it shouldn't be that way. I just had Publix Pharmacy call me, was it 2 days ago? And tell me that I couldn't get my medications anymore through them. And I was like, what? And they said, yeah, you can't get your medications anymore. I use multiple ones. And then I also have my compound pharmacies. But
is it cheaper to buy most of that overseas? Because I know up until just recently, they were charging people in America a lot more than they were people overseas for the same drugs.
There's a lot of things that you can get cheaper over there. I know people that go to Mexico.
Well, they signed something that they can't charge people in America any more than they do anywhere else, or something like that. It went in effect January something recently.
I don't know, but whatever's happening now, it's pathetic. It's pathetic. Mm-hmm. And then with this, I don't know, this new insurance thing that Trump is doing. It's not helping anyone. It's causing us more issues. I've never had so much issues in my life. I've never had Publix Pharmacy or CVS tell me I can't get a medication. Why? Because I'm vaccine injured? Are you kidding me? My doctor's giving me on other things. I'm like, I have Epstein-Barr. I have blah, 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 blah. I have all this other stuff going on with me.
It's because they like you to go away?
Well, a lot of people would like me to go away, but I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Insurance companies and the med companies, they'd like you to go away, I think.
So the government wants me to go away. I go in to go speak, and they're like, "Oh, she's here." You know what I mean? It was like, really? I just heard you say that, and they're like, "Oh, we heard you the other night when you spoke." You know, and they do that, we got to hear you again. Yeah, you're going to keep hearing me until somebody does something, because they got upset because you may be only on live for 3 minutes, but people hear you that are watching live, and then they call the senator's office going, I don't like the way you're treating her, blah, 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 blah. Why aren't you doing something? Right. And then the senator's office calls me and says,
it's the only way to get something done, though.
But the thing is, even though they get those calls, has it done anything for us yet? Is the press back down? Are we acknowledged? Are we getting help? Is anyone studying us here in the U.S.? We shouldn't have to travel overseas to go get treatment. I mean, there's...
Somebody ask about if you're going to any events that they can see you at.
Oh, I see, he can throw something at me.
No.
I'm just joking.
I think it's sincere.
Yeah, I'm just joking.
Don't throw something at you at Sandy.
You can throw something at me. I don't care.
You used to be able to move like that.
Yeah, I was like speed of light, you know. I'm a ninja. But
block it.
I just, I used to go to the events quite a bit, and then I just realized I left more depressed. Really? They give you, while you're there, they build up the momentum that we're all here, we're all working, we're all helping each other. A lot of these people can only do so much, and I get it. Without proper funding, they can't test us, but no one's studying us. And then I think at the very beginning, we were told, a bunch of us, because there's a bunch of us that were injured, and that was like the first time like 10 of us even met each other. There was someone that told us that we were going to get studied, that they were going to do this for us, that we were going to get better. We knew we weren't going to be 100%, but we knew that we would one day go back to our everyday lives. And we believed it. And maybe it was some stuff that people promised, and maybe it was too much to promise us, because maybe they didn't know how much was in detail in it at the time. But the thing is, a lot of us feel like we're let down because nobody, I felt at the time, why isn't someone doing, a collection fundraising so you can test this so many people? It just didn't happen. I know some of these doctors do their own testing on certain things. I know that they were doing the chlorine dioxide, then they were doing, some other things,
I think some of those, it depends on which batch you had, might temporarily help you. I don't know if any of it's permanent.
There's nothing that's going to bring me 100% than what I am.
No,
I'm always going to be, I'm on these medications for the rest of my life, and the infusions for the rest of my life. And I'd love to go off of them. I would love it. I'd love to even cut back on them if I could. But at this point in my life, it's not like that. And,
probably period.
I
talked to other people that have been jabbed. Julie, I don't know if you talk to her anymore, but Butler, Julie Butler's. I don't know if I'm saying the name right.
Oh, Julie Threet. She's from Butte County, from California.
Oh, okay. She was also jabbed harm and done some things to help her, but none of it's cured.
The thing is, at first, take this, it'll remove the spike, take that. Because we spoke out and said we still have spike, that's when we got blocked by a lot of people because they just thought we were mad at them. It wasn't that. We were asking for something more. And we were upset. Yes, we were mad. We were mad because we believed that we were going to get better, that somebody was going to save us. And that's what we were told in the beginning. The problem is we should have thought this more clear that no one's going to save us. And it's been the injured. It's the injured saving the injured, because a lot of us get on chat groups or communicate. I don't go into Twitter spaces that much because to me, I can't listen to the same thing all the time and it's toxic to me. So I backed off. I don't do that stuff. I had to put myself into, do I want to hear this all day long? Do I want to hear, I mean, basically by now you've heard everyone's story. So what you want to do is move on. If I wake up tomorrow and I'm breathing, then I had a good day.
Someone in the chat says that they got the jab and it was causing them sleepwalking. That's weird.
I've never heard of sleepwalking, but it could do anything. There's a lot of things that it's caused. Mine's neurological and mostly neurological. There's a lot of people that have cardio issues. There's people that have brain lesions. So
myocarditis. Even athletes, young athletes that went down shortly after they had it with the myocarditis thing. It definitely goes to the heart. Absolutely.
Yeah. And there's just, right now, I'm fortunate that I did have the treatment that I did. I do have to go back, and I do plan to go back. I know that they're having other treatment that's available.
Is there any chance that they'll ever start giving those treatments here in America so you don't have to keep traveling?
The FDA will not allow the filter that I have, that I got overseas in Germany. There is a filter that's here in Tennessee, the one that I always get the Kevins mixed up, the treatment that they're doing in Japan.
Okay.
They have, that filter is the same filter that they're using in Tennessee. And Tennessee also does stem cells. I've never been there. I don't know much about that.
Explain the stem cells thing. Is that to replace certain parts of you so that you don't produce a spike protein?
No.
I have heard other people talk about the stem. It's very confusing.
That's when you want to rejuvenate your cells. And I don't know much about the stem cells, so I'll just put that out there. I didn't study it enough. I do know that there were a couple of people that I do know that did get stem cells done that got worse. So that's why I'm apprehensive about doing it. And if now Kevin's doing something different in Japan where they're extracting it from baby teeth. So I'm anxious to see how that's going to work out in the future for other people. Now I know that it's different from what I had, and I know that it's safe and I'm going to go back to do it. And the people that are going to Japan, if they get relief and it works out, then if people get any kind of benefit than what they're getting now, they should try it. They should look into how is it going to benefit
It
them.
might lead down the road to a cure, maybe, hopefully.
Until they get to the root of the problem, we're not going to get better. And that's what people don't realize. Nothing is going to take out the spike 100%. Mm-hmm. And until that happens, we are still going to get sick. We're still going to get worse.
And your immune system's going to be weak all the time, and you'll catch everything.
And there's people, we just had someone else pass away a couple of weeks ago that has been fighting this fight. There's people that commit suicide because they can't take the pain, suffering, the gaslighting, and they just don't want to do this anymore. And then, like, if you're in Canada, they offer MAID. So then you can do the self.
Yeah, they were talking about MAID in the chat, and about them putting the vaccines in some of our food and spraying it and everything on everything.
They're ridiculous. I mean, here in Florida,
they're trying to come up with a new vaccine now that they want us to take.
They can take their vaccines and shove them somewhere where the sun don't shine. I'll just say it like that. But
I'll second that.
But they're putting this stuff in our meats, our vegetables. They're spraying the airs, and the airs. They're
They're putting aluminum up there, and that hurts your immune system.
Well, here in Florida,
it's supposed to help the weather, right?
Well, here in Florida, they want Governor DeSantis. Even though I've been on Governor DeSantis roundtable and we were first to speak out about the vaccines, we're still not getting help in Florida. We still have the mandates. The injured have been ignored, and we are not getting any kind of help at all. So on top of all of this, now they have what is it?
My governor, I got Hochul up here in New York. Good luck with that one.
Right now, they're having me speak at the county commissioner's office because now people are listening to me now because they're wanting to take wastewater and make it drinking water. So they're going to take the wastewater.
I did see you post about that. Yeah.
Oh, they're purifying it and they're sticking it in the aquifer. So Florida was the first to open the pearly gates, let everybody in. Hello, we're going to go back to normal while everybody else is on shutdown. So now we have an overpopulation here. Even we don't have a lot of conservation areas. The beaches are all built up. You can't even see the beach where you used to be able to because there's so many high rises. And then we have hurricanes, and then half of them are going in the water or what have you. It's ridiculous because the seawalls are not protecting them. But
I'm sorry, my brothers moved down there to the Panhandle. So Elizabeth Hunter was from not Clearwater, from St. Paul.
You're safer over in that area. You're kind of protected in that area. I like it over there. But the thing is, you want to put it in the water.
You want to get out of New York.
Well, people don't realize
the World Health Organization again. Trump got him out, and now she's joining him again. Now they're going to push the jab here in New York.
Jeez. It's,
we're going to be forced in New York to take the jab.
Well, but people don't realize also during COVID, they did a surveillance throughout the US, and I think they did it global, where they could tell when the SARS-2 and the Omicron, when it was up at its highest peak and its lowest peak. And they did the surveillance through the wastewater, and they could tell
who got the jab and who didn't.
If the spike was in the, from the vaccine, through the wastewater, and people don't realize that. So if they're going to use the waste to tap water, how are they going to tell that all these people that protected themselves and their family, they stood their ground, they want to start drinking after us, everyone that's been vaccinated, or people that are injured or still, having spike in their body? I think that they're looking at another, that movie Pelican Brief. They're going to end up having that down the road because of future health risks because of that. But I don't think it's fair to anyone that's trying to protect their family that stood their ground and didn't take their shots. Yeah. So nobody should be able to have to do that. So now they have me talking on that. and I'm helping them. But Governor DeSantis gave our county $2.5 million to do it. And we've already had a testing site and it didn't even go well. So
is it going to be fixed?
We're talking about it to get it off because right now they want us to vote on it to see if we want to do wastewater to tap water. I'm sorry. I'm not, I don't eat and I'm not going to drink.
Yeah. Well, being in Florida, you don't have groundwater as well, right? It all has to come from other places, right?
Well, during COVID, they were also finding it in the lakes and ponds, and it was getting in because it gets in the aquifer. We already have saltwater intrusion. They were also finding it
Didn't
in
I see
wells.
that they were spraying the skies so the animals wouldn't get COVID supposedly for a while, for a little while?
To me, I didn't hear that one. I've heard every kind of excuse. I mean,
I think it happened in California and here in New York. I don't know if it happened down there.
I mean, to modify and don't have cows expel gas. I mean, that's another thing that just rips me apart. So,
well, actually, the gas that they're producing is when they burp, but it's ridiculous. You know, the ozone layer is getting thicker anyways. It's absolutely ridiculous. Somebody asked you, did China and Fauci plan this?
of course, it was planned. I mean,
Yeah.
it's even in the what is it in it?
What did happen in the bio lab? The actual disease, COVID, the jabs happened here by the pharma. But
I didn't believe it came from no bat anyway. So it's like, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Well, they were experimenting to see if they could make a disease in a bat that they could make it go to humans.
Well, whatever they created a.
Yeah. Well, they were working on trying to get us sick.
Well, if they want to depopulate, this isn't a way to do it. And you know what? As far as I'm concerned, they're not God. God will take us when He's ready. But I think what they did was the worst crime ever. And I don't think that on their judgment day, they will be judged accordingly.
Well, I hope. I'm not normally for capital punishment so much, but for them, hanging him's too good. I'm sorry.
You know, and they don't have public hangings.
Especially Fauci. He knew. Remdesivir, he knew was killing lungs, and he was pushing that. You know, crap. Even after people got sick, you know, or flooding their kidneys and all that kind of stuff. So
it's what they've done to us is wrong, and too many people have died, and too many people are. You know, we have the freedom movement here in Florida, but there's too many people that still can't get seen properly, get the testing done. There's a lot of people that have to go out of state to see doctors.
Oh, I have to laugh. John was saying that mooses and buffaloes and giraffes and elephants don't fart? Question mark. That one's funny. I should copy and paste that one over.
Oh God.
That was for John. That's a good point, though.
Doesn't everybody do it? Doesn't every animal do it?
It's ridiculous.
I mean, I'm a lady, but you know, we all have our moments.
We're human.
Even though I don't act like one all the time, but you know, it is what it is. What it is. You know, I'm a good old girl, and
I'm sorry. Some of them on the left are just nutcakes about this whole global warming stuff, this and that. I'm sorry. I live in New York, and I lived through the snowstorm in '77 when we had snow as high as the top of the telephone poles. So
it's ridiculous.
I live about an hour from Niagara Falls. So
I mean, if people knew what we were living through, I mean, right here, this is my medicine.
Wow, that's about what, 30, 40?
Yep, I have a few. I do drink my Cardio Miracle. That helps. But yeah, these are all the medications that you end up taking. I went from taking one pill because I had a thyroid issue, and then I took my vitamins and things like that because of working out and the things that I did. I took care of myself to that. And then that's not even.
You were taking supplements.
Yeah, I was taking supplements just because I was an athlete and I needed to. Now you're getting,
If
these
you weren't an athlete, I don't think you would have survived this, to be honest. I
No.
said that before we went live, but I wanted to say it in front of everyone else. I don't think you would have made it without you being an athlete to start with.
I don't think I would have, and I think I would have given up a long time ago. I think my kids keep me going now that I know that I'm going to be a grandmother. That helps me as well. I have
Some have said that they know some people that got it real bad and they committed suicide. Have you heard of that?
Yeah. Yep.
Really? They
Mm-hmm.
didn't try to, because it was painful to go through?
Because, everyone tells you that you're going crazy. People, then you also get called names, you took the vaccine, you complied, it's your fault, you deserve what's happening to you.
Well, I haven't seen anyone then. I've gone into stores about the masking and stuff, all that. And I wouldn't wear the mask, and I got treated pretty bad somewhat for that.
Well, I was seeing somebody at the time, and we ended up not, because he couldn't handle what I was going through. Then he thought that I was going to make him sick because everyone kept saying, "Oh, have you heard of shedding? Have you heard of this?" And so then he got afraid of me.
That would make him immune to the virus somewhat,
But he inspired me. He never wore his mask. He never did anything. And I know the first time that, we
creates more carbon dioxide. You keep breathing it in, you touch stuff and you get germs on it and breathe that in, that's really bad.
They were having parties and getting together and nobody was getting sick.
Sex, yeah.
And it was just, by then,
when you come on, they have knees up at 10 Downing Street in England, knees up parties, where they have sex and all that, while everyone's locked down for COVID over there.
Well, it's a sport.
It's a sport over there with the old Epstein. Don't even get into that.
It's a sport. Yeah. But I think I learn a lot from, I get a lot from a lot of the injured that are sick. And then I have special people that I talk to on a normal basis that is very knowledgeable. And without that kind of support, I think I would have given up too.
So I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at chat. Sorry.
That's okay. People laugh at me all the time. But
oh, no, they're talking about cows burping. Hold my beer. So
let me just put my beer over here and wait for the cow to.
That's some in the past, not this time. I haven't seen anyone. They think that having a little bit of beer every day helps you. I don't know how that would help you. Maybe it does.
Now, you have some people say that hops helps you. I mean, there's people throw a lot of stuff at you and say this works, this works. All you can do is see what works for you, because you have to be treated as an individual.
What matches weren't the same, and every person's different too. So to a different degree, you would get it.
Everybody's different, and not everything is going to work the same way as it is for other people.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is
and someone's making you feel better, but you're not cured.
No, you're not cured. The thing is, I think at first they were saying that we were going to get cured. We knew we weren't going to get cured. We just wanted our life back. But when you are still talking, I got in trouble about it the other day. I know that there's people that, the thing is, when you're doctors and you're speaking out on stage, I know that they lost their license. I know that they lost their practice or whatever, but
they even jailed one in a few other countries, like in Canada.
Well, there's a lot of them that they're selling their books, their products. They still have a place to live and they fly around different places. They still have a life and they deserve to have that life. But we can't do that. There's some of us that can't fly. There's some of us that are on oxygen. There's some of us that are we're getting worse. In 5 years, after 5 years, after 3 years, 4 years, well, let's try to crowdfund. Let's try to see what we can do. Like, there's some people that are working underground that are just now getting stuff together, but I don't know if we'll ever reap the benefits from it. It's because it's been so late. But we shouldn't have to travel overseas and get treated because we're not getting the treatment here in the US. Until they start studying us, we're not going to get
I don't
better.
think they want to solve it.
Does anybody really want to solve it? And it's like,
because there would be a big payout because they have to admit that they were wrong. Now, whatever happened about the 75 pages? And plus, you're getting a lot of hearts there, by the way. So,
I'm doing the heart.
So on several platforms, actually, I was trying to copy and paste it over. So the 75 pages there are, well, it was more than 75 pages. It was 75 years. The 75 years, they wanted to keep thousands of pages of all their own data secret, right? Whatever happened about that?
They still want to do it. I mean, it doesn't matter. They want to keep us buried. But my thing is, more people need to speak out. More people need to be louder. And, yes, you'll see squabbling on there once in a while, and you'll see me be a hurricane. You'll see someone else be a hurricane. And there's people that, there's people in our own movement that say, well, you can't say this on social media. You need to take this down off of your post. You're going to make somebody mad. Well, in some ways, we say it because we want to get the attention to think that people are going to do the right thing. But instead, this thing is we have our own people censoring us. So you have our government that censors us.
Well, didn't you get those things on Facebook and YouTube and that where you were taken down? Things were taken down.
I lost 23 accounts on TikTok, and TikTok
you beat me. I had 22 on YouTube taken down.
Yep,
you beat me.
As soon as I went up there and did something, boop, I was gone the next day. So I'm like,
warnings now, and then you get banned for a week or whatever. Facebook and YouTube are the two worst ones.
Facebook, I was in Facebook jail. Then I was suspended for 7 days.
Orbeez doesn't do that.
And then Instant Messenger, I still can't.
Doesn't do that.
Instant Messenger, I can't do live videos on anymore. I don't know what
I can't do live videos there either. I can share links there, but I can't.
You know what? And I never got an explanation what I did. It was probably a comment that I put.
Well, first, I used to be able to do an hour. Then they cut me down to 20 minutes. Now I can't do them at all. So
no, there's just this whole thing.
They call it misinformation.
Yeah, I'll give them misinformation. My labs say it. My doctors have written notes that went into the injury compensation program. It says that I'm vaccine injured. I have everything. My doctors recognized it from the start. But those are the same doctors that aren't my same doctors because they were worried about losing their license. So it is what it is. So we're gaslit from doctors, and I've been through 4 neurologists working on my 5th one. Now I have to see a muscle disease, a muscular neurologist. It's just, I'm being passed around. It's like, a merry-go-round. I was going to say something much worse, but I'm going to be nice. Being passed around.
You can say anything.
It's just we're being bent over. But I only want to bend over on my terms, not their terms. It's just, I say a lot of things and it offends some people. I think that we all should get well, not just one set of people. All people should get the help that they deserve and the acknowledgement and the compensation that they deserve. The supplements, I think that you should try them if they work for you. Good. And some of us that have documentation.
Did the ivermectin help you for a while, or?
I take it, and I take hydroxychloroquine, and I take fenbendazole. I've taken it all.
I don't know what that is. That one I haven't heard.
You'll see Dr. Mackus. He's cured cancer by ivermectin and mebendazole.
I think it can cure certain cancers, not all cancers. Some told me that ivermectin is helping their fissures in their eye. They can see better. Those floaters that you get in your eye? He used to have a lot of them. He was a truck driver. And he took ivermectin and it cured that. I guess it's a parasite. It cures parasites.
regardless, I've been on it for years. Now, the first 2 years, my doctors didn't want to give it to me. I did get a hold of some of them and I did take it. I do take it on a regular basis, but I'm still in the situation I am. And
yeah, but the jab is different than having COVID, though. I think the jab
well,
actually makes the spike protein.
and also if you have spike, we don't have these tests in the US. Nobody should have to send off their labs to overseas to see where it is, what cells, it's that shouldn't happen. Why can't we do it here in the US? Why isn't it being done?
Mm-hmm.
So,
for a while they weren't letting people get ivermectin. They were calling it horse paste and all that kind of stuff. Anything that worked, they didn't want you to do.
Well,
I think they wanted it dead.
Everybody's on ivermectin, and that's great. But for the injured, it's not making a huge difference in my life right now. And, like I showed you, the medicines that I'm taking, the infusions I'm taking, at this point, the best thing I did was go overseas and get the treatment that I did. I have to fundraise and do
Can you
another
explain
round.
that treatment in case anyone else wants to try it?
But if they look it up, a lot of people go to Cyprus and there's some other places that's over there. It's called HELP apheresis.
And basically they filter your blood, right?
Yeah, they filter it. And the HELP apheresis has 4 filters. So it does a lot for you. And it did a lot for me. The best thing people can do is look it up and then see, you have to also remember that it's in euros, not dollars. So if something's $1,400, it's really $1,600 over there.
Yeah, at about 10% or something, right?
The cost of a lot of the treatments are cheaper over there than they are in the US. That's another thing. So if you can make the flight and if you can have a place to stay and be able to afford it and work it out, sometimes it's cheaper to go over there than it is over here. Some places have a year waiting list. I mean, over there, they have a year's waiting list. A lot of places don't, but it costs a lot of money. And to go over there, if you get 5 treatments at $1,600, and then you still have your plane ticket, you still have your food, you still have your lodging, any other testing that you need to have over there, you need more money for that. While you're over there, it's the best bet to get your testing done because you're not going to get it here. You can send away for it. There is a way to do that. But they're not testing us here. And then we're not trying to be rude or disrespectful, but
I don't think they want to know.
But the same thing is, we have a lot of we have a lot of great doctors. And then we also have doctors that, why are we still taking supplements? Why haven't we moved on to something else? That's the questions that we have. And we get in trouble for saying that. Well, you can't speak out against the doctors. We're not speaking out against them. We're speaking out that if this hasn't worked in 5 years, why aren't we working on something else that does? And that's the main thing. And then they're like, well, you're just speaking out against the doctor. It's not that. It's like, if I'm not getting better, why are we still doing this? And why are we 5 years behind Europe? Because they're a hell of a lot further than we are. They have treatments that we can't get over here. The FDA also doesn't allow the filters that are over there. Like I said, they've been doing
worse crap in our foods than they do over there. The seed oils and all that kind of stuff. Someone asked you where they can find you because they'd like to find out how to find those treatments and how often do you need to get the treatments.
It's like anything else. You have to be treated as an individual. Do you need it once a year? Do you only need it once?
For yourself, you need it like once a year?
I have to go back. Yeah, I have to go back right now.
Once a year, or how often? Once a year, okay.
Right now, until we figure out what's going on. As long as I still have spike and as long as my labs are dropping, I'm going to do everything I can so I can stick around and be a thorn in everybody's side.
You're not a thorn in my side. So definitely. Actually, some of the people I used to talk to are gone now too. They came on originally when this first happened, I had some people from Canada that were, that whole Canadian trucker protest against
Yeah.
this whole jab and all this and that. They're gone. Some of them got arrested, like Tamara Leach, and that used to come on. She got arrested. Now she can't come on a lot of these shows and stuff like that because they're censoring her. They'll put her in jail for stuff she might say, that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm surprised a lot of us haven't been put to jail yet for half things.
Well, up there. Did you know that Trudeau, when he was in there, he was an investor in the medical company that was making the money from getting the government money for the vaccine, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's just right now we have no resources. The only resource that we have here in the U.S. is.
I did see that this comment stopped over there, Gregory. So he was just letting me know that the comment stopped working over on Wimpkin. So I've been monitoring over here. Sorry, I was talking to someone in the audience.
That's all right. I don't even remember. See, now I don't even remember what I said. I just had brain fog.
Yeah, but we were talking about Canada and getting going to jail and stuff for stuff they said and all that kind of stuff. You didn't ever had anyone come knock on your door and say you posted this. That's happening in England a little bit for other stuff though.
Well, some of this stuff I'm not supposed to be saying because of my children that are still in the military. So sometimes I do have to watch what I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
I think lately I just
let it go.
I'm letting it go because when you have friends, especially there's other people that have been on Governor DeSantis roundtable that are bedbound right now. So if somebody's bedbound and they're not getting the help that they need and they're just getting worse, and they're wondering how much longer they have, and they have young. I couldn't imagine raising children at that age, 10 and below, or even teenagers, and being ill and being bedbound and trying to be a mom. So it's just like kids have to go in the room just so they can spend time with her. And that's not fair to her. And that's not fair to the kids. So she was on Governor DeSantis roundtable, it was Deidre. And
I remember seeing a video from her, yeah.
She was in 2023 because I was on with Steven in December of 2022. And then 2023, Deidre was on, and then Lindsay Brion, she's here in Florida, she was on as well. And every one of us are not getting help. We're not being helped by our government. We're not being helped by anybody. Nobody's paying our bills. We have lost everything. There's people sleeping in their cars. Me, I got my senators involved. So I got lucky with getting my disability because I had a good doctor that did great documentation, or I would lose it because you're not acknowledged if you're vaccine injured. But the judge who tried my case recognized me as vaccine injured, and he apologized for everything that I've been through.
Now, have you been getting good judges? A lot of them threw these cases out at first, didn't they?
Yeah, a lot of them have to go. I was on a state level, and if I lost, I'd have to go to a federal level. So I'm lucky I won at the state level. I know other people that have done it on a federal level. They won it at a federal level. They don't have enough judges because there's so many people that are applying for disability. That's what the problem is. So, at least I have a trail that my senators did get involved, that they did help me. Even my county commissioner, he helped me to get a voucher so I can get a place to live. Like, who wants to admit that you need help living?
Well, you used to have a nice house and everything at one time, right? Nice place.
Yeah.
It's cost you everything.
It's cost me everything. And at times you just don't, at times you get to a point where you don't want to do this anymore. And that's come to my head. But I know that there's a higher power, and I don't want to be judged as such, and I can't leave my kids like this. So I don't. There's days that
you're going to be a Grammy now.
I'm going to be a Mimi. I don't want to be a grandma.
Oh,
I'm going to be a Mimi.
So
probably be called a lot of other words, but that's okay.
Are you close to his? You don't have to answer this. Significant other, his significant other, his wife or whatever. No? Okay.
No, wait a minute, wait a minute. Who was my ex-husband? No.
No. Your son's wife or whatever.
I speak to all of them, and you know,
You didn't have
she's
to
gonna,
answer that.
she's gonna be the mother of my grandbaby. You know, my son and her got married, and you know, my other ones got married. I was hoping that one of them would make me a grandma. Um, I love my family because that's the only thing I have left.
Mm,
I don't have,
yeah.
what else do I have? You know, my charms, my good looks,
Yeah.
my a-holism. I mean, I got a
Do you
lot
think
going
this
for me.
whole situation has changed you much?
Yeah,
Yeah. I think
I'm
it's made you
not,
stronger in some ways.
you know, my kids knew me as Wonder Woman and things like that.
I think emotionally you're stronger now, probably. You can manage more because you've
You
had a
have,
lot on your plate.
you have to. You end up being very angry. You know, my family thinks that I'm angry all the time. Well, the first couple years I was sick.
Hmm.
Um, you
Until you
were
started
hurting
getting the
so
spike
bad.
protein out of you, right?
People didn't realize, what is it? They said I had a resting face, B face. So I talked through my teeth because it hurt too bad to talk.
Yeah.
And you were just in so much pain, you ended up talking through your teeth. So you just look like a, you know what? And then your family was like, well, why don't you do this? Or why don't you do that? Well, they're not sick. They're not going through it.
Yeah.
And then you hear the comment, well, if you had cancer, we'd understand how you feel, or you need to
What's the
have,
difference? It's a terminal illness in a way.
it's a chronic illness. And
Yeah.
just then they're like, well, maybe you need to see a counselor. Well, I had counseling. And you know what? I counseled the council people because they couldn't understand. See, the insurance called them and said that I had a life altering, um,
Thanks, John. I was counting.
altering altering thing going on in my life and I need counseling. So then they said, well, you're like someone with cancer, so we have to counsel you. So I'm like, okay, why did you wait 2 years? Number 1. And then number 2, they're like, they gave me someone for anger management. They're like, well, you don't have anger. So they gave me breathing exercises and all this other
Right.
kind
You
of
didn't
stuff.
go and body slam some security guard or something?
You know, in your mind, you think it all the time. You're like, I know what I'm doing to
Well, I
you.
meant, like, say, there's some places you've probably gone, they won't let you speak or let you in, that kind of stuff. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, but see, I used to be the type where, okay, if I wasn't heard, okay, I'd get a little loud, but I wasn't that loud.
Yeah.
Or if I spoke at a softer voice.
Hmm.
Now it's constantly, I'm in this fight mode all the time. I haven't found a happy medium yet.
You've always
When
been very nice to me. You haven't been, you never said anything bad to me.
well,
You were hesitant to come on. I have to admit that.
I you know what? There's times where you're just like, no one cares about us. We're still sick. We're
I
dying.
care. I do
Nobody's,
care.
and then in the back of the head, you're like, we're still on supplements after 5 years. What the, you know what I
I've
mean?
had people say in the message, "What do you didn't go through it. What do you know about this and all this and that?" I've had people comment that. Well, I try to get people on that have gone through it because I do care. You know.
Well, you know, I still have family members. Well, you're still mean. Well, it makes you a meaner person and you don't put up with anything anymore. So you're
Yeah.
like black or
Well, it has
white.
changed you.
It's like, you know, and then there's like stuff that happens and people want to, we're going to spare your feelings and not say something. And then you find out later, you're like, just tell me the truth. I'm already having the government lie to me. I don't need anyone else sparing my feelings because at, there's a point where you don't have any feelings left. I mean, you do, but you hold on to them because you don't want anyone to know that you have
You're
them.
very, very guarded.
Yeah, I'm guarded. And then it's like after
It's
a
hard for you to
while,
trust people too. I found that from other people that've been on. Like people say, "Oh, I'm going to do this, and this, and this," and nothing happens.
well, when people, say we're going to help you. And then, there's been like people in the past in the freedom movements, oh, we're going to have you on the podcast. We're going to make sure that you get treatment. We're going to make sure that you're okay. Then they just disappear. You're like, okay.
I can have you on here, but I can't guarantee anything else other than that.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of people that are in the movement and they have moved on. So let's fight.
Yeah, they'd like everyone to forget about this, wouldn't they?
Yeah, let's worry about fluoride. Let's worry about cell phone towers. Let's worry about this or that. You know what I mean? It's just been like no one stays on track. It's like everybody's ADHD and they all need an Adderall or something. It's like let's stay on track and let's work on getting it done. You know what I mean? It's like reading a book. Are you going to read the front and the back, or are you just going to read halfway through and not finish it? It's just, I'm one of these,
I tend to read the first sentence of each paragraph a little bit to just kind of scan through a book that way. Someone asked which leaders are doing something about this.
When they find out, they can let me know. Kennedy still hasn't taken down the PrEP Act. He can use his authority and do it. He doesn't. I guess, it's more fun.
The World Health Organization is a plus long term, but they still need to fix what's already happened.
Well, I mean, we still have people talking about it on stage. It's like, how long are you going to talk about it? And then then the other thing is the reason why I stopped going to a lot of these events, they'll go on there and they'll tell you to tell your story. Well, after a while, I don't want to tell my story anymore. People know my story and I get tired of telling my story because it's like reliving it. And then they just have you go up there and say, well, instead of 5 minutes, 7 minutes, then they'll give you 2 minutes, or then, oh, let's line them all up on stage and there they are. It's like, Vanna, here they are. Here's the injured. And I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? You feel like Pinocchio and you're a marionette and people are pulling your strings. And I know that's like harsh to say, but I'm like,
I worry when people are trying to raise money by using it for that. You know what I'm saying?
The only people that get donations that help the injured that actually go to a care fund is react19.org. You can apply for a fund through them and they can help you pay for past or future.
No, that go send link. I got scrolling across the top of yours. Does that still work? I copied
the Give Send Go. Yeah.
Yeah, I never had any of those. I have it scrolling across the top for anyone that wants to help.
I've never had one of those, but I tell you what, that has helped me pay the co-payments because people don't realize when I first started going on this, I had a $200 a month co-payment for specialty pharmacy for just my IVIG. Then you have so I was paying $6,000 a year for a co-payment. The first
you lost your house.
And then the IVIG was $200. Well, that's just your IVIG. People don't realize, well, my Eliquis wasn't covered for a long time. That was $500 a month. And then if you get...
Why is that so much? I'm on that myself, I believe. That's that heart medication, right?
It's a blood thinner. So it's just, and I'm on 3 of them. So... that wasn't covered. And then there was something else. And I'm like, I turned around, I had $1,200 a month at the very beginning that wasn't being covered. And that's without my supplements.
But you need those for your microveins. It helps the regular veins. I learned that garlic, if you use garlic a few times a day, you can get rid of one of the blood thinners.
Yes, I have someone close that loves garlic and eats garlic. And you can take it in tablet form, garlic. I'm just like, oh. But
it does help thin your blood a little bit. So if you take too much of that with the blood thinners, you don't want to do that either. So you got to be careful.
I mean, I'm careful with everything that I do, but I'm grateful for the people that have introduced me to things to give me a better quality of life. Like I said, Dr. Henry Ely was great. I'm looking forward to going back into that class. I've learned more through them. I also have like detoxing.
I learned a lot from this friend about a lot of this stuff, healthy eating.
Oh,
Gita. She's war. This was a bestseller actually about healthy eating and that. Could ever you come on with her?
I think a
It would
big
help
thing.
with the staying healthy, not necessarily about anything about spike protein though. I don't know. That would help with that.
Well, eating everything organic, staying away from, and just it's the simple things like washing your clothes. Don't use Tide, use the all organic things. I sleep on a grounding mat with a grounding sheet. Um, I have a grounding pad for my computer. Just turning off the blue lights, sitting out in the sun, the red light. There's just like so many different things that can benefit you. It's not going to cure you, but it sure does
About
make you
the
have
different lights, yeah.
a better quality of life. And then eating a good, organic, nutritious meal also helps. And then like there's other supplements that you end up learning that
Are
can.
you able to exercise at all? Any type of at least walking and stuff like
I
that? Any distance?
Yep, part of the thing is keeping a diary and being able to walk. I walk
Push
the
yourself
days
a little bit.
I walk the days that I can, and then I'll make sure you move. You make sure you move every day, whether is today better than yesterday or not. And then also, I you get atrophy after a while. So if you work with some small hand weights and things like that at home to help you. Now, after you get done, the problem that I have is it feels like my muscles are ripping. And then it feels like if you had a massage and not drinking water afterwards, and then you have all that lactic acid in you and it makes you feel like you have flu like symptoms, that's the way I feel after just trying to do small little things.
Mm.
So I'm not like what I used to when I did
From
CrossFit.
the jab, some people claim they always have problems with brain fog.
Mhm.
Is that
Yeah,
you still have that?
yeah. I mean, it's not as bad since I've been back from Germany, so I'm lucky about that. And sometimes I do it, and I can get back on there. And when this first happened,
That's why you didn't want to come on the podcast for a little while. You were worried about that a little bit, weren't you?
at that time when you were asking me, I had brain fog so bad, and I was having sundowners at 4:30, 4 o'clock at night. I didn't even want to drive. I couldn't remember where I was going to. I'd have to write notes. So in case I did feel like I didn't remember where I was going, I could look down at, because everybody knows I'm big with sticky notes. I have sticky notes everywhere. And when I'm done doing something, I take it and I throw it away.
Or
Um,
you forget appointments and stuff like that. And
yeah, constantly. And everybody goes, well, just schedule it in your phone. I'm like, to me, it was too much. You know what I mean? I'm just like, this is for the younger group. I got to have my
you walk into
calendar.
another room, forget what you went in there to find or get, right?
Well, I was ADHD. I did that anyway. You know what I mean?
I didn't have it
So,
until my stroke, and I have a
you
little
know,
bit of that now.
I'll take a pen and like write it on my hand sometimes or
I didn't do any of that.
what have you. But then I got to the point where I made it a game. So if I went in somewhere, then I would get it and then come back. And then it's like I wouldn't reward myself, but to me it was a game.
Yeah.
So I mean,
As
over a
long as you're
period of
seeing improvement, that's good,
no, there is improvement. I mean, I had even a DNA test to see if I had Alzheimer's, because they were worried about me getting Alzheimer's. So this plays a huge effect on everything and everything that you've ever done. And it's the biggest nightmare that you've ever had in your life. It's
Yeah.
you can't really explain it. To me, it's like Hunger Games and the Matrix mixed together. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Mhm.
And it's just I was never somebody that wore a tinfoil hat. And I knew that there were people that were, conspiracy theorists and things like that. And they were cool to hang out with. They were cool to have a beer with. You know what I mean?
Some
Because
of
you're
the
like,
conspiracies turn out to be kind of true or closely to true.
you know
For
what? And
sure.
when you get done and you're like, oh my God, you were right. It's
Yeah,
like
about
I don't
spraying
have
the
to.
skies. For it took me a while to believe that they weren't spraying the skies, but now they're catching them where they land after they land the plane. They're talking to the pilot. Well, I just get paid to do this, that kind of stuff.
No, it's just you know, these kind of people, like, I'm friends with everybody. You know what I mean? I can talk to a bug on the wall, but you know, before I just was never a conspiracy theorist. I was like, that only happens in the movies. And now when you talk to somebody, it's like how I used to look at someone hearing something like flat earth or something. So when they would explain it to you, you're giving them this look, like a blank stare, going, oh my God. And then now people are doing that to me when I tell them what's going on with me, because it's like, if you know, I'm like, if you don't believe me, I'll pull up my
Mhm.
my labs,
I've
my
seen a lot of your early videos of how much you were going through when you were in the hospital constantly, and wow, it was something really. And
yeah,
that was,
there's nothing like going to the hospital all the time and
and that's
constantly.
when you do feel like you can see why someone would want to commit suicide in that, right?
You just get tired of it. You're just like, I don't want to do this
You're
anymore.
constantly not feeling normal, I guarantee, you know.
No, and then people look at you, or you know, and then, or you know, family wants to spare your feelings or what have you, and it's just to the point where you're like, I'm still a person. Just, I've been lied to by the government. I've been lied by too many people, and just let me have it, because there's nothing more you can really do to me. I mean, I'm sure there is now that I said this, knock on wood, but you know, this has already happened. And if you would have told me before I had the shot that this was going to happen, I would have never believed
Did you
you.
have one shot or two?
Two. I had the first one and I didn't feel good for 2 weeks. And I had the restless leg syndrome and I just felt kind of weak and
Other people have had
fatigued.
that. Yeah.
And then, you know, at first it was like, if you've ever been in an car accident and the airbag's going off and your body just aches everywhere, you know, you have the inflammation everywhere. It eventually went away.
My wife had one, and I was in the car, and I looked like Gorbachev. My forehead was all bruised and that hit
Mm.
the dashboard. So
If I knew that I was going to get hurt as bad, if there was a time machine or a pill to take to go back to where I was before, I would have never taken it, ever. And by speaking out, if it helps future generations, I hope it helps future generations. But there's still
oh,
people that
but
believe.
you got a grandkid coming, so a boy or girl?
They're at 8 weeks right now, so I don't know. So I'm
Oh,
learning very early, so we'll see. Don't know if it's a girl or
either
boy.
way, you got to protect them from them ever doing this again too. You got to stop this from that happening again, because they could do this again if you let them get away with it this time.
Well, they're, you know, my son and daughter-in-law that are pregnant, he's in the military. So what concerns me is what will be made for them to take in the future. And also family members, spouses, and children need to, if they're
That's why you took the
participating,
second shot, is to go see your son, wasn't it?
to take any of them.
Yeah.
So, and then, you know, there was mandates also at
Mm.
work, but it's just,
I know some people that quit their jobs because they wouldn't take it, which is
I, I would have just wished I would have just packed up and went in the middle of nowhere and just lived
mhm,
off the grid somewhere and not even paid attention to any of this. Um, but it happened and there's nothing I can do about it. The only thing it is, but I still have family members that think that this saved millions of lives when we know differently. And people still think that they can't get COVID after they take the shot, and they're still getting
and
COVID.
they're more likely to get it actually because it hurts your immune system.
They're more likely to get it. And then these are the ones that are getting sick, the cancers and everything else, and immune issues, and people aren't putting it together. I don't get it. You know,
Hmm.
it's just, it's beside me, but people are going to just, I ran into a group of people that didn't believe it. And then they all like were yelling at me kind of thing. And I'm like, what are you going to do? After a while, it's just,
A lot of these
people are going to,
college educated ones, really, wow, something
I
else.
mean,
They just will not accept it. They get in your face and everything. I dealt with Antifa, and that's why I had my stroke. So long story on that. So
People are going to believe what they want to believe. And at this point, if you can save one life, then that's something. If you can save future generations, like getting the mRNA shots off the children's shot records, if you can get the mandates stopped, that's
you're not necessarily anti-vax. Like, I'm closer to that. Not totally. I just don't trust the government as much as I did. But you definitely are against this, and maybe you're probably a little bit more leery of getting shots for things, right?
Well, with the shots, I always had my kids get the shots, but when they started coming out with that HPV shot, I started thinking, that's when, I don't know, that's about the same time I was a health nut and I was doing more sports and really starting to take another look at things. And I started wondering, I was like, no, they're not going to get it. And I remember my doctor, the pediatrician, getting upset at me because I didn't do it. And I was like, I'm not
getting. How many shots the kids have to have now? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think they offer. I'm trying to remember when they offer it, but I remember when the doctor was telling me to have my kids get the shot. I was like, no, I'm not going to. It's going to be a decision that they make when they go to college, or by then I knew that they were going into the military, and then the military, you ended up getting a peanut butter shot anyway. So I figured that would be their decision. I started wondering about that time, and I believed in the shots before I got mine.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that this was different. I do believe that from time to time they do need to reevaluate some of the vaccinations.
And they should collect data so that later on they can tell, hey, people are getting autism, that kind of stuff,
Yeah, they should have been testing that the whole entire time, and they should be reevaluating them.
Keep looking at the data. Now that they have AI, they could do that stuff a lot faster, go through the data really fast.
Yeah, but it's amazing that this wasn't done, until you get hurt and you get involved in this. You're like, they haven't been doing this, they haven't been doing that. And it's like, these people have been fighting this stuff for years. And it's like, where have we been? And it's like, now we've met all these people that have been in the fight for different reasons throughout the years. It's like, my God, why wasn't this more public? Was I that naive, or was I just that busy in life that I didn't pay attention to it? So
we didn't have the internet back in the day. If you can imagine going through this fight now if you didn't have the internet, especially when they were censoring for a while, kicking us off YouTube and Facebook and all that kind of stuff, Twitter at the time.
Well, I was busy, I was, even when I was a kid, of course we didn't have the cell phones. You had to stay outside and play until it was dark. Or even if you went out to a keg party, your parents always knew where you were and who you were with, and they already knew that you were drinking. And there was no cell phones.
I'm from a family of 8 kids. We used to get up in the morning, leave, and come back when it was dark and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just,
my parents didn't worry about us, and my cousins lived right next door when I was really young, and then a little later.
Well, we had we had a cap. We could only watch TV for so long, and then like Atari came out or something, and it's just like, we were just busy. And then I was hanging out with my friends and stuff. We didn't worry about all the technology, and then I didn't even have Twitter until 2022. And Facebook was the only thing, and then people were being censored so bad I never even saw it on Facebook. Well,
I lost my Facebook and my YouTube accounts. So
now
22
TikTok,
channels, but you beat me with 23. I had 22.
I gave up after 23, but in TikTok you started seeing these people, you're like, oh my God. But then you'd get suspended, and then you wouldn't find these people again for a long time. So you knew other people were getting hurt, but then when you started telling your family and friends what's going on, they would not believe you because they don't hear anybody else being injured. But then, like, you meet Ernest and his son that passed away, and then you got all these other parents that have lost their children, and all these other people that have been injured. It's like, it was a lot to take in once you realize that so much.
I wonder if they actually have the numbers on how many died, how many are injured exactly worldwide. It's got to be astronomical.
See, somebody posted it, and I don't even remember what it is. I guess because my computer's down. It's
got to be at least 1 million.
Yeah, I mean, this is a global thing. I mean, we have it bad in the US, but they have it worse in the UK and Canada. There's
I seen
people,
somewhere a long time ago a post in one of the African countries of this that they didn't take any of the COVID Chinese virus shots, and no one died. No one died from it. You know.
well, people died here. And then, the government, they lied to us. People died. And nobody should have lost a loved one. No one should have gotten injured. And it's happening. And then to deny people, the people that have lost their loved ones, they don't they don't have cases. They're not trying these cases. Why aren't they trying these cases?
Well,
You know,
a friend up in Canada had 4 kids, little kids, when she died, and her husband had already died in the military
I
a
mean,
few
these
years
people should
ago.
have had the first cases. And then, you also have the hospital protocol victims and things like that. And then you have the injured. And because of the PrEP Act, that's what's keeping us. And then
For everyone who doesn't know, explain exactly what that is. It's basically protecting the
the
pharmaceutical companies.
pharmaceutical, yeah, they leave us immune. We cannot sue big pharma, which is ridiculous. I mean, they tell you we're going to give you the shot. You only have a spike in you for 1 to 2 days. Then we were told 3 months or whatever. And then you find out that you're 1800, was it 1860 days plus. It's a big, they lied. I mean, obviously, that's why they don't want to have these tests over here, so people don't know. And then attorneys, where are they? Where are these attorneys when
Oh,
we
they're
were
afraid
told?
to take on big pharma. They don't think they can win,
Well,
right?
a lot of them have been paid off too, but then,
I've heard of in some other countries they're starting to sue and go after Fauci and Bill Gates and all that kind of stuff.
well, they're not here in the US where
No,
we don't have
Denmark is one.
we don't have attorneys. We don't have any testing. We don't have the
They don't have
unit.
the filters. They won't let you get the filters for filtering your blood, right? Not here.
Well, they have EBU, but people are saying that takes it out 100%. It doesn't take it out 100%. Um,
Explain
nothing,
what EBU is in case anyone wants to try to use it. Someone earlier was wondering about contacting you about what you're doing.
they can contact me anytime. I mean,
They can find you on Twitter, right?
they can find me on Twitter. I'm Chellee, Chellee on Twitter.
Okay.
I think, because I guess originally I was doing it for like a football thing when my kids were
Anyone
playing
out there
football.
watching, she doesn't see her messages for a long time.
Well, the thing is, I get so many DMs in Twitter, and then like when I'm on Facebook, I get so many DMs, I miss stuff.
I have a message
And
there. Just what's up, and I sent you one also in a regular text, but I don't know if you've seen it. I use the same numbers as what's up. I don't know.
I'll
Hopefully,
check it. Sometimes
okay.
I get so much stuff in lately.
Yeah, that and Twitter. Originally, I'd contact you through Twitter. I remember.
Yeah,
So
Twitter sometimes it gets lost. And then Twitter also has like an extra chat thing that I didn't know a lot of the DMs were going to a chat, and I didn't know that you could check that. So I was like, what? I mean, I'm not that techie, but I didn't realize that I was missing most of my messages. So I apologize.
No, I'm just warning them. Give her time to reply, okay? Anyone out there?
That or sometimes I get a post up there, I DM'd you, answer me. So I'm like, okay.
Is it man? No.
You publicly scolded me.
No.
Okay.
No. I'll just wait. I'll wait a month or something like that. No, send another message or something.
Sometimes I just get like, sometimes I have like doctor's appointments after doctor's appointments. You have to see your neurologist.
Well, I know for a while you were going through a real rough time too with your health, and you were traveling and stuff like that, and so
Yeah, now I'm moving, so it's just.
People are asking about you coming back on, though. Definitely, if you're willing.
Oh, I'm willing if you can put up with me.
Yeah, listen, that. Next time we'll get you on a little faster. That's all.
You know what? I'm sorry. My computer still is sitting there. They having an Apple computer. It's telling me that I'm locked out.
Oh, I I build regular computers, regular Windows ones, but I have messed with Apple ones and this and that. So sometimes there's a restore button on those. I think you hold down a couple keys and you can do a restore. It's a 3-key thing or something on some of the Apples.
Yeah, I have to call one of my sons and then he walks me through it. He takes
Yeah.
over my computer and he fixes it for me. So I'm like, I hate it when I have to call him because it's like, oh crap. They're like, Mom, you need to take care of it yourself. Watch YouTube. But I'm like, I'm not watching YouTube when I know you can do it in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So
I'm a little bit of a computer geek, this and that. A little bit.
he put a security on it so it locks itself once in a while. The problem is getting back into it, and that's what I don't like. So I need him to take that security off. So
yeah. So, well, you any closing statements, and I'll have you back on in a few weeks or something.
Yeah, if you can put up with me.
Yeah, if you're feeling good too and everything. I don't want to catch you on a day that you're not feeling good, because I don't want you to feel sick at the same time.
When I'm feeling bad, you know that I'm fighting with people on Twitter. So
that makes you feel worse, huh?
No, it's
no
like
fighting here.
I think lately I've had my butt chewed out on there because, there's a lot of people that don't speak out. So when you do it for them, then you get the butt of it and you get blamed for it. Like,
did they ever tell you you got the right message? You just don't know how to deliver it or something? Message?
No, the problem is, you're always angry. It's like, when it comes to me, it doesn't matter if I say it nice. It doesn't matter if I say it bad. It's going to be taken bad anyway. So it's just like, I'll be the bad girl. It's okay. I'm good with it. It is what it is, at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, I can say something nice and
I
people
think
will
you're
be like,
tough as hell, to be honest.
she's just being a, you know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, I'll take it. I'll own it. But
I don't know if I could have gone through everything you've gone through in the last, say, 4 years, is it? Or 3 years? 3 or 4 years?
I don't know how I did it, tell you the truth. I knew that I was strong, but I didn't know I was as strong as I was. You know what? If it wasn't for
it seems like you're determined to live for your
to be a pain in the butt, but
for your grandkid too.
If it wasn't for, like, I made my circle smaller, so there's people that I talk to. Like,
I bet you lost friends over this.
Oh yeah, I lost a lot. That and family members.
Family members, huh? I could see him disagreeing with you, but not losing them as family.
Yeah. Wow. It's easier than dealing with me when, so
well, even if they just disagree, just don't talk about that with them, or them don't talk to you about that,
No, it just gets to the point where you're like, you don't even want to bother it anymore. You're like, just and the days that you feel bad, you're like, I'd rather just lay in bed. You know what I mean? It's just, and I don't even watch TV or anything. It's horrible. I don't watch anything. But lately I've just been doing a lot of meditation, breathing, working on myself, trying to get myself in a positive attitude because I'm tired of people saying that we're going to die when we're not going to. Well, it's on God's time. And I think that we can do our best to give each other, make yourself have a better quality of life and enjoy life while you're here. And I'm going to make the best of it.
Yeah. My plan is to live to 200 years old. I've been done twice already. So they had to revive me twice.
Oh, I don't want to live that long. I couldn't even stand myself that long.
I don't want to lose my memories. I got a lot of very good memories. Sports ones between playing and coaching.
I just know when I go, I'm coming back and I'm haunting a lot of people for what they did to us. I'm going to haunt them. I'm going to haunt them. You know what I mean? And then some of them, I have another saying.
You're going to be an angel or a ghost or something?
Oh, if something's there, I'm going to knock it over. or these
while
people
they're trying to sleep, talk in their ear or something.
I'm gonna block them. They'll never be intimate again, just because maybe. It's just one of these things. But I keep my circle small.
Please go get Fauci and Bill Gates and all them. Oh boy, them first. They're first on the list, and China.
But I keep my circle small because I try to be around more positive people. and people that want to find answers. So it's going to be the injured helping the injured. So I learn a lot from a lot of smart injured that study this completely. And I trust them more than I do a lot of other people in the movement. There's a lot of good people, but I think we could have moved in a different direction. It could have been further, that we could have gotten more help. And I'm disappointed on that. And a lot of the others
Are
are.
you still friends with them, or have you lost them as friends too?
Who?
All the ones in the movement.
I haven't lost all of them. The thing is, I'm very boisterous about it. I respect all of them, what they do. Like I had Malone tell me from the very beginning, there is no cure for you. I've had other doctors come up to me and say, there is no cure for you. At least they're honest with me. At least I can deal with that.
Yeah.
The ones that I can't is, we have this and it's going to pull the spike out 100%, or you're going to take this product and it's going to take the spike
that's what
out
they
3 to
might
6
think,
months,
you know?
6 to 12, up to a year, the spike's going to go out. Well, how do you know if you're not testing it? How
Yeah.
do you know if you're
Well,
not?
they might believe that, though. They'll just have to be proven wrong, I guess. You know?
But when you let them know that you still have it,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
then they don't want to talk to you anymore.
Oh.
The thing is, here it is. Now let's do something else. And if they don't know what else to do, because I talked to Latipo, he said that they don't know what else to do. Well, then why don't we find out? Why aren't we
got to
working
find out what's
on it?
producing it and then stop it from producing it. I think that's the biggest thing.
We need to be working on it. But then if there's people that just,
How about
it
some
feels like
grants?
people,
A lot of these colleges get grants all the time. Get some grants on that.
the thing is, we're not recognized as, or acknowledged. There is no state and federal money. And then we don't have our own movement saving money. Now we have some people that are starting to work on things, on clinical trials and doing stuff, but it's been 5 years. So yeah, we're upset. We're not mad at anyone, but don't tell us we're going to be cured.
I'm mad at some people. I'm mad at the Fauci's and them.
I'm mad at the government. I'm mad at the government.
And we're pushing it. Huh?
But see, also, you got people that are sponsored by foundations or companies, and then you'll never see our stories because you won't see us in it.
A lot of the media, a lot of media had Pfizer advertisements on their stations and all that.
But we have our own freedom movement that have podcasts that you'll never see.
They should have still said something on their now redo. We didn't at first.
I mean, are you going to see anyone on Tucker Carlson? Are you going to see us on? No, you're just going to have the doctors.
I'm just saying they still should have figured it out and spoke up, or started to, even though they had the sponsors. They dropped the sponsors. I know it's a lot of money, but get different sponsors. This and that. So I have a curiosity question for you. Has any of this affected? You got a lot of beautiful tattoos. Has that affected any of them?
No, I got them before. If I had money, I would be tatted up anyway, not on my face or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I like tattoos.
He's got a lot of very good, beautiful tattoos.
I have a sleeve. I have one on my back, my leg, my arm, and
it hasn't changed any of that, like weight change or anything, or the
weight change. Yeah, I hit menopause like real fast. It messed up my thyroid. So then my cortisol levels and everything else. And boy, it's really like my hormones are not where they should be. And I have to get special attention for that.
Wow.
It's changed a lot. So, mentally, physically.
I had a hysterectomy, and after she went through it and came home, and she was going, I'd come home from working and she'd go, I'm mad at you. You didn't do anything, but I'm mad at you. Yeah. Did you have to go through those types of mood changes and stuff like that? It was terrible.
No, I mean, I was injured when all of this was happening to me. So everything else I was like, just another thing besides the ringing in your ears or just,
ringing in the ears. I think I heard someone else say they had that too.
Yeah. Yep, you get tinnitus, you get the vibrations going down your legs. And when you go past the cell phone towers, I have chest pains. I hate going to one of my doctor's office because they have these huge cell phone towers. My God, I can't go past them. It hurts me so bad. I try to look for an alternate route.
Wow. So you do believe that there was stuff in the jab that was metal and its conductivity and all that kind of stuff.
Well, between AI, our cell phones, the EMF, with everything going on, I think they've done live blood analysis where they actually took blood from someone that was vaccinated and unvaccinated and then set the cell phone next to it, and it looked like they were both vaccinated. So
Yeah,
it's affecting people both.
I've seen videos where they can connect to the chips that are in them and stuff like that. It's ridiculous. They can actually identify the chips, with a cell phone. They try to connect to it and all that. So, and
Well,
with the 5G and 6G now and all that kind of stuff. Boy, you wonder. They think that they're going to program it like someday turning a lot of us off on one. They want to. There's been videos of these people that get together. They want to kill. They want to get rid of 27 out of 28 of us. They want every 27 out of every 28 they want dead on average.
Well, they should have picked something more than a shot for me and a lot of others, because they just, we're mutants now, so
Yeah.
I'll use my power.
Superpowers. You were Superwoman before that, right? So.
Yeah, I'll be Storm or whatever.
Hurricane.
You get Wolverine out there and whatever, and then you have these people are like, oh, these people that are that are got the vaccine, they're mental. We're not mental. We're tired. We have fatigue and weakness. We just get tired of the BS of people thinking that they're superior over us, saying, well, I didn't do it and I stood my ground. I like it when you hear pure blood. Are you pure of blood? Did you ever get vaccines before that? Did you stay in your same bloodline? That's what I tell them, and they get mad at me. But I'm just
fear of the jab. Yeah.
And
then you anything since then.
People just bring up stupid stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I
don't trust them anymore. I don't. New.
I used to never argue with people anymore, but now I just sit back and listen, because I just like to listen to the stupidity, and then I'm like, okay, now it's time for me to reply. And then
do you have relatives that are for the jab and tried to get you to get another jab after that?
I can't have another jab or I'll die.
Yeah. Did they try to talk you into it?
No, they didn't try. Now they were wanting me to get the jab in the very beginning, but now that this has happened to me, I can never get another shot.
Well, I wouldn't blame you. Doctor.
I mean, I have family members that believe that it saved millions of lives. I mean, how many times are you going to argue that one? It's at that point, you're just like, just believe what you want to believe, because
I got a story to tell you.
It hurts worse when it's a family member.
When I was in for my stroke, I was in there and they were trying to get me to take the jab. And even then, after my stroke, I wouldn't take it. And the one doctor leaned over to me, asked him, they're pushing this thing. How did you, I know a lot of people that quit being a doctor just because of the jab, right? And he leaned over to me and he said, I took saline. He didn't get the real jab. Some of them weren't taking the real jab,
Yeah, I know Dr. Kirk Moore did that. And then, he served time. What is it? I think he said 21 days in jail. And then they were going to try to take his license away and put him back in jail for, 30 some years.
In Canada, they took their licenses away.
So a lot of people were affected, and yes, I do. These people did stand their ground and they did what they felt like they should, so they could.
Or they had to lie and they took a saline shot instead of a real one,
I tell you what, I would have done anything to have a saline shot now, but.
Yeah, I hear you about that.
Even my good old days when I used to do line dancing, a good old shot of something. But
were you a drinker?
I wasn't an alcoholic or anything. Like when I went line dancing, if you had like a glass of wine, a beer, or, then you get your rowdy friends, just have a shot. Because then they know that maybe I'll get a little bit more twangy with my words and use y'all more.
I was an athlete, so I really didn't do that. Although I did get drunk once at my brother's 18th birthday party. I was 16 with all this other 16-year-olds who thought we'd have a chug-a-lug contest. And then we lived about a mile from the lake. We thought we'd walk down there and go swimming. By the time I got to the parkway to get to the lake, I was crawling on my stomach. I couldn't even crawl on my hands and knees. I was so drunk.
Well,
that's the only time I've been drunk.
you know, when we used to go out mudding or four-wheeling or something, then we'd, you know, have beer and stuff on the weekends, but I regularly didn't drink anyway. And then I can't drink now anyway, now that I'm injured. It just affects me in a different way that
Yeah, someone was saying about the beer helping them. I don't get that. Maybe they just don't
it's,
feel it.
it's the hops, but
Okay.
I can't drink it. It affects me. I don't like the way it makes me
That sounds
feel.
like a temporary solution, though. It wouldn't fix it.
You know, you understand really quick and have more sympathy for people that do drink or do, you know, drugs, because then it masks the situation.
Yeah.
So then you do have more sympathy for those people. Um, but no one has sympathy for us. So, and
Yeah.
then the biggest thing this week is, oh, you're playing the victim card, or,
Oh,
you know,
stop
whatever.
that.
I'm
You
like,
are
I got
really
better things
injured.
to do.
It's
I got
not like
better things.
you had your feelings hurt. It's like you really hurt, you know?
I'm like, wah, my one feelings hurt.
Yeah.
You know,
I
it's
might
just,
die, you know?
you
From
know,
that.
I'm just like, you're playing the victim. You know what? One, we are the victim. We did get hurt, and we're the heroes because we're still surviving. So
Yeah.
that's the way I felt. But then everyone gets their panties in a wad and they get upset. No, we're the heroes. No, we're the heroes. You know what? If we're fighting and we're still alive and we're finding ways to keep alive, yeah, we are heroes. And it's us that's saving each other. It's not from someone whisking us away and finding us a cure. You know, it takes multiple things to keep us alive, but there's good healers out there that help us, and it's the injured that are helping us.
Someone
But
earlier said acupuncture. I doubt that just probably masks the pain, right?
well, when I could afford acupuncture in the very beginning, I was doing it and I did like it, but it doesn't take the spike out, but it
It
helped.
covers up the pain, right?
But I did acupuncture for years before that anyway. I believed it was part of my regimen with the deep tissue massages because I was doing Spartan races and martial arts. I mean, I was being tossed around, so I needed to have it. You know, I had to get worked on.
You've been
So
a football player.
no, my kids did me in on football.
Okay.
No.
They were all football players, then. So.
That, and they were busy into music and art, and they were just
Cool.
they were very artistic, and I'm very proud of them.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, thank you so much for coming on. Much honor and respect for all you're doing. I certainly hope you come back in maybe a few weeks or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as you don't get sick of me, that's okay.
No. Well, maybe when you come back and talk about where we are on a few things, what's moving through legislation wise or lawsuits wise, because I've heard some people in chat talking about lawsuits in some other countries. Nothing happened here in America.
There's nothing in America, but there's bills that are put up, but I can't tell you who is it going to affect. But I'll get
try to
all that
research it.
information for you.
Okay, that's it. You know, sorry you couldn't see a lot of the chat. It stopped working over here on LinkedIn. People are telling me it stopped working. The message over here.
Well, I have
So,
my other computer up once I get moved, so
yeah, Wimpkin, I can't see on the screen unless I bring up this other thing. That's where the most active is. The most active people in chat are in Wimpkin. That and Rumble. All right, take care. God bless. Take care.
Thank you for having me, and God
Yeah,
bless you.
we'll talk soon. Big hugs. Big
Thank
upstate
you.
New York hugs. Bye bye.
Bye bye.